Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Monkey Brains podcast. I am Amber.
I'm John.
No, we're still doing this bit. All right, and I am Ocean.
Hey, welcome two new, not new, returning people. It's been a while since River and Jem have been here. I think they died, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the podcast. Sorry for being away for so long. We had things going on and happening in our
Mhm.
lives. We almost and
We're
things
people
are
too, you know. No.
we're people too, so respect us like you would respect women.
Fuck.
I don't. I'm kidding.
But we still have things going on. As you notice, Fia is not here. She might be here later, but we don't know. And also to announce, because this was planned to be a Kiss Mary Kill episode, because surprise, the Kiss Mary Kill is now publicly available. So that'll be a later episode because we don't have everyone here, and I couldn't make it this episode. So that's cool. If you want to check it out, it's over on GitHub. I might link it in the description, or I might not. I might forget. Who knows? But that's a thing, and that's all I have to say. Well, how are you guys doing? It's been 3 weeks since our last episode.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Totally like I wasn't talking to you like an hour before this. I've been doing good.
We definitely weren't hanging out for like an hour or two before the podcast.
Yeah, we definitely haven't been hanging out for an unholy amount of time just playing Terraria and Undertale 2.
Terraria hasn't been for a hot minute.
Yeah, but I've been doing good. Summer and all. I finally got back to drawing.
Yay!
Art fight is in like 10 days. So
yeah, I forgot it. Still need to put a fucking reference sheet together for my Sona. Good
I
lord.
saw that you followed me in there.
Yeah, I put a bunch of my friends in my profile description. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Oh, that's awesome. I need to still I need to revamp my profile because last year's stuff is still there. I think I've cut out a few of the characters I want to be there. So I'm just getting that cleaned up, and then I'm probably gonna have to ask around a bunch of people if they're participating or not. I'm also gonna have to redo some old drawings because people change their characters all the time.
Yeah, I would join Art Fight, because
Do it, you coward.
hey, well, let me finish. Let me finish.
She's like, let me get there.
But I would join Art Fight, and like I have this, it would be cool because everyone else in the FFE is on there, pretty much, because everyone's an artist. But the thing is that I
You make it sound like everyone can be an artist nowadays.
God, it's so the market is so oversaturated with all these artists. I fucking hate it. um, but the 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 I like it's definitely something I would do. But the thing is that I'm so ridiculously inconsistent with drawing art. Like I actually haven't made a piece in probably a month,
A month.
2 months, 3 months. I don't know. It's been several months. Um, uh, for all I know, it's been half a year. But I haven't like sat down and drawn a full piece in a while.
Hey, what's the same for me? I didn't draw anything for like 4 months.
I mean, it's compounded like, yeah, but also it's compounded. It's compounded with the fact that when I do draw something, that is the only thing I draw for another several months.
Oh,
I don't get into like art grooves. I just draw something and then don't draw anything else for I have like an art skill cooldown.
An art skill
I'm like an RPG character where I select the art skill and then I draw something and then it's on cooldown for like 3 months. Uh,
That's called art block.
it's not really art block. It's just I don't feel like drawing right now. Like I can
That's
have
art block.
I can
Motivation.
have
That's art
ideas.
block.
I can have ideas. I can have like I really want to draw this, and I sit down in front of my computer and I'm like I want to play some games.
That's art block. That is art block. That
Is
is
it?
literally the definition. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
what
it?
you have effectively described is to some extent a form of art block. Yes.
I always interpreted art block as like less of like not having not like the active the active state of not drawing and more of the active state of what the fuck like sitting in front of the canvas like what the fuck am I supposed to draw.
I mean, it comes like that as well. I think art block is like a very broad like definition. You could have that where it's like you kind of forget what you were supposed to do and like all the processes you do when you draw. But there are also times when like you have outside sources interfering, like school and stuff. Like for example, I had very bad art block because I had school, and then when I had time to draw, I essentially just didn't feel like drawing anything. I had ideas, but I just didn't feel like it. So I just started playing a bunch of video games.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's like I have like I like it's not an art it's less of an art block and more of an like art ball and chain. I like
An art shackle.
yeah, like it's I get I like sometimes I'll sit down and it's also just the thing of like I don't know, like I am an artist, I draw, I make pixel art, cool. And but also I just am not someone who desire is to draw art. Like I consider I like I do art. I'm technically an artist and I am not like I'm not like opposed to calling myself that, but what I would more consider myself is a programmer, and that's what I more prefer doing if I'm going to do some sort of creative work is program it. So I do art, and if I'm making like some sort of solo project that needs art, I'll do the art for it, partially because I need the art in it, and partially because I'm too embarrassed to ask other people to make art for my games. Sometimes it's because it's a secret project. Sometimes it's because I just don't want to. I want to say don't want to shoulder the burden, but that's too selfless. So I'll say I don't want to rely on someone else to make the art in a timely manner.
But now you just sound selfish.
No, it's a bit of both. Like not in a selfish way. It's more the thing of like at least if the art is taking a while, I'm blaming myself and not someone else.
That's that is understandable. I feel like I relate to that to some extent.
Yeah,
But I do see where you're coming from.
yeah, it's definitely a thing of like I could do art, but
I feel like you see it more as
But
a tool, right?
what?
Like you see art more of a tool than something that you can put in your belt and say, "I do this really good."
Yeah, I suppose so. I think like also because it's also like kind of this thing also where oh like say oh I uh like I'll do since I do art so uncommonly, it also means that I'm not really improving via practice because I'm not practicing. So I kind of stagnate in like my skill at art, and it ends up being like, well, now I'm just, well now I'm just like doing the same level of quality on all these pieces I do. Sometimes I'll do a random piece that's really good because that's what happens to all artists. But most of the time, it's just like, yeah, this is just my usual quality. It's not bad, but I could definitely do better if I did this more.
That's
But yeah.
good.
So that's my reason for not joining art fight. It's just I'm so bad at doing art like consistently, and like I feel like because I don't. I mean, obviously, I've never done art fight, so I'm not 100% familiar on how it works. But I know like someone's gonna attack me. Like I'm gonna get like 5 attacks, and I'm gonna do like literally nothing back. I might like make it might motivate me to do like one art piece, and then I have like another unfinished art piece in my thing, and it's just like that's my progress for the whole amount of time that our fight lasts. So I just kind of I don't want to like I don't know, disappoint people is the wrong word. I don't want them to have like I don't want to just sit there and do nothing because it looks like I'm trying to like get people to draw me art while doing nothing in return.
I mean, actually, yeah. No, that
Also,
can happen. Some people just kind of leave their accounts and people draw stuff for them, even if they're not active. But I do get what you're saying. I do get it.
yeah. Also, it's another thing of I don't really have characters. I have my Sona, and that's it.
Persona,
Like
the Shadow Men, and Mannequin. Even if that, I
I haven't
guess
even
if that
used.
counts.
I get the mannequin. I guess counts. I don't use it anymore. Um, but like, and plus like, then I have to. Then I. It's another thing of art fight is also a scramble to draw refs, and that's just more art that I would have to do for it.
Oh, it is. Oh,
it's
it is.
yeah. So that's like even more art that I have to motivate myself to do, and it's like
It's like when you realize it's like for art fight is like, okay, I'm gonna make a reference for this character, and that will be it. And then when you get to it, you realize, oh wow, there's so much I need to do. And then you start realizing that there's like a billion other things that come with it. Like you gotta make a thumbnail image. You have to like I mean in my case, I do want to make my profile like, you know, like grab the eye so people will see it. So well, sorry. Um, so you have to like, oh, I'm gonna have to make art for to like a hello sign or stuff like that, and then you start piling up all these things. And it's like, oh wow, I don't think I'm gonna make it in time. That's how I feel right now because I have the 10 days and I still have to do like 5 things, and then I'm not even beginning with some. The it's you have to really plan before ahead, like very ahead.
yeah. And if there's one thing I'm good at not doing, it's planning.
I
Uh,
think as far as art fight goes for me, I'm um what's the phrase? I guess I'm like, and I tend to put myself in this overachiever position. And what I mean by that is like I see all these cool characters. I've recently been browsing the like the front page where they have like recently posted characters and stuff like that. And what I what I like to do, what I've been doing is I browse through some of these characters, and if one sticks out to me, then I'll bookmark it. And I currently have like 10 bookmarks right now. So I've put myself in this position of being an overachiever in the sense that like I am going to expand my art portfolio and I'm going to draw all of these characters.
Trust me, it's not gonna be like that.
It's I don't think it's going to be like that, but I I'm hoping to try and get at least like half of them because I do want to try to improve as an artist, but
That's the
also I
spirit.
don't think I'm going to be able to draw all of them.
yeah. Uh, like I said, I have no characters. I have my Sona. And everything else is tied to something else. Like the only times I've ever really made characters is for a game that I'm making. I have no characters that are just like because everyone else in the FFE is like, oh, I have all these characters and they're part of this little universe that I created. And I'm like, I have not that. I made a game out of it, but they're kind of confining
Hey,
that
that's
game.
impressive, though. That's impressive. Not everybody can say that they made a game for their characters.
Made a game is a stretch, and because most of the time I worked on it for 5 days and then stopped.
More than some people have done.
I suppose. I still have. There's still one concept. I forget if I've ever talked about this on the podcast, but I know I've talked about it before. There's still one concept for a game that I'm planning to do eventually once I move on from RPG Maker and actually learn how to do things in like Godot.
I'm sorry, Godot?
Yeah.
Godot.
Okay. I want you to know that the developers of the... I want you to... Okay, so the name is Godot. The programming, like the game development software is pronounced Godot. And that's not a joke. I looked it up. The developers themselves pronounce it Godot. So, there you go.
I swear I have not heard it been pronounced any other way other than Godot. That's...
It's, I mean, that's just how it is. I've heard it pronounced, and I've heard it pronounced all sorts of ways. So,
what other pronunciations could you have besides Godot and Godot?
Well, there's those two. I've heard there's one that pronunciation
Godot.
of it that just sounded like goated, and
Goated.
man, this dude's so goated. But yeah, apparently, according to a search that I did, that the program is pronounced Godot, I guess. So I just pronounce it that way. For the record, I pronounce the name Godot because that's how it's pronounced. But yeah, so eventually I have a game concept that I'll eventually, once I move to Godot, then I will, then I'll make it there because I feel like it deserves a higher quality than what I could make in RPG Maker. I also have another game concept that I also want to put into Godot, but not for the reasons that... Kind of for the reasons that I want it to... That its quality, I feel, is more... I want it to deserve a better quality than RPG Maker, but also because the mechanics I want in it would be really annoying and finicky and require a lot of plugins to do in RPG Maker, and I'm not dealing with all that. Plus I want it to be like Plus, I want the perspective to be a side-scroller, which is not something that you can do that. Sick-ass character. Yeah, Jem just sent an image of an art fight character of a Photoshopped image of a skeleton with jeans and shoes holding a gun.
It's specifically a deagle.
Which
is really funny.
A deagle, specifically. Remember the time
That's the character? 4, 5, 7, 5, 600.
Amber, I don't know why you didn't know why it's a deagle. You're, after all, Adam proclaimed you as the one about guns.
Yeah, I'm the American. Ignore the fact that we are all American.
Yeah.
I've
already said I'm not American.
Don't you live in America?
But I'm not.
You're I mean, you have citizenship, so you count. You're American not by blood, but by a pure patriotic ability of being able to live in such a wonderful country, and that is all a lie.
I would slam my desk, but so many things would go flying and so many things would break. I don't want to do that.
I can do that. I can slam my desk. Haha! My power over you is immeasurable.
Is it made out of a brick or something?
No, it's made out of, like, wood.
I feel like if I do that with mine...
Mahogany.
Yeah, it definitely mahogany.
Oh, you guys wouldn't get that. Never mind.
No, I get it. It's
yeah, my desk.
From Terraria.
My desk is made out of.
No.
My desk is made out of wood.
Made out of wood.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? I'm trying to rack my brain around that. Where did that joke come from? Where did we first make that joke?
I don't know. I just
Made
remember.
out of wood.
I remember. I all I remember is that when I made that joke, I kept making it with so many different words, and you cracked up at every single one.
We went back and forth like that for like 20 or 30 minutes, just coming up with words to
Actually,
expand on. And
talking
God,
about
I don't even remember where it came from.
talking about like word like things that you keep on repeating all the time. Do you guys have like a thing of like, oh, I heard this, and now you have to keep on repeating it all the time? I guess an example would be like, I watched SpongeBob, right? I finally got around, guys. This hype for SpongeBob, I'd see it. I finally got around to starting the show like 20 years ago. I mean, like a month ago. But I watched it, and there's the line where some random fish he said like, "Hey pal, you blowing from Stupid Town?" And I've been quoting it since I've watched it because it's just such a good line.
That's me with C'est la vie. I've been saying that a lot because it just applies to so many situations. You will like I in chats with people in various conversations to myself. I'll just go "C'est la vie" or some shit, and then it's
That's
just
me. That's exactly what I do too.
it's my current catchphrase. If I was me in Tomodachi Life, that would you give the catchphrase, and that's me.
Your
Um,
Tomodachi character goes, "C'est la vie."
Say lovey. Uh, and but yeah, I have a few of those, but I'd have to like probably say them to remember them because I'm always like conscious like I'll like I'll like something will happen and my gut reaction is say this line and I'm like don't I say this a lot? Oh well, I'm saying it again.
There's this woman at the liquor store a couple blocks down. Whenever because I usually go down there to pick up a couple things for my mother and my grandmother, and I think she's like, since I've been there a few times now, she knows my face. She knows, like, she recognizes me. And anywho, if I go to pick up one certain item or if I need something from behind the counter, she'll say, "Cool deal, pickle." And I've never heard anybody like say a phrase like that before. So I can't help but crack a smile every time she says it. It's just really funny to me. Cool deal, pickle. So
Cool deal, pickle. That's fun. That's a fun phrase. I'm going to be taking that.
Uh, it's it's funny how it's just like everyone creates these vocal tics by just stealing it. It's like some person says this thing a lot, and it's like, and then suddenly you start like parroting them, and it's like, oh god, what have you done? You've infected me.
infected me. Uh, I don't. This doesn't really like apply, but a friend of mine, she pronounces the word genuinely, and
Ew.
yeah,
Oh
I
man,
don't.
I need to be so I need to be so genuine with you.
I, it definitely threw me off the first time that I heard it. She's like, I've never. I we were going somewhere. I think it was around Halloween. I think it was Halloween last year. Um, we were going to uh Spirit of Halloween, and on the car ride there, I heard her say genuinely, and I looked at her like she was stupid, and I said, "Say that again." She goes, "Genuinely." She goes, "Sorry, like I've never heard it. I've never heard it pronounced any other way." And I was like, "How? Huh? Of all like it doesn't sit right with me, you know.
Is she?
I
How
don't
sheltered is she?
I don't fucking I don't know, but I figured you would have heard it at least. I figured you would have at least heard it been pronounced correctly. Well, maybe not correctly, but more. I guess I'm not. I don't want to say that it's like the correct pronunciation, but like I figured that pronunciation would have been more like prominent, if that makes sense.
What? Genuinely, or
Genuinely, I figured she would have. I I I figured like she would have heard it pronounced genuinely at some point, not genuinely.
Yeah, I don't know. That's. I think she might live under a rock or something.
I'm praying that she doesn't find this
I think
episode.
she. Why would? I mean, what? Do you advertise it to her?
No, I haven't advertised the channel to her yet, and frankly, now that I'm having this conversation, I don't think I will.
You should. We need more followers.
Get more
we need.
followers.
We
Oh
need.
God.
Please, we need all the publicity. I'm on my knees. I need the views. My family is starving. Please subscribe. I am begging. I will literally I will get down and suck your dick if you subscribe right now.
I won't.
I don't think I've
That's
ever
a
heard you
scammer.
say
Come
something
on,
so
during
like upfront.
Pride Month, Jim. Come on, have some sportsmanship.
You call this sportsmanship? Jesus.
Hey, it's a sport. Come on, you know it's casual versus competitive sex. Come on.
I'm sorry. When did sex ever become a sport, much less competitive? Like, is this for the sake of Pride Month? Is that why?
Clearly, you don't know.
I mean, if
you don't
people
know
have
the
it, I mean,
intricacies of this of
listen,
the sex.
River. River, if people have it casually, then other people have it competitively. So
What? How? Enlighten me, both of you, please.
Have you never heard of the sucker sex tournament?
I am going to need you to elaborate the fuck out of that right now.
Look, it's a tag team tournament. You bring your couple.
A team tournament.
You enter as a couple, and you gotta whoever comes first, whichever team satisfies the other first, it wins the round. And
Wait,
it's an
do
elimination.
both partners need to be satisfied, or just one?
Well, one's. Thank you for the news article there, Jem.
hey, it's solid proof. It is a thing.
I can't.
Sweden declares sex as sport. First ever European sex championship to begin on June 8th, which will have multiple categories.
Nations will compete in 16 various disciplines, showcase skills and art.
And art.
Yeah, it's the art of sex.
Not art.
Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We have fun conversations on this podcast.
We like to have fun here at the Monkey Brains.
Yeah. The Monkey Brains are as mature as you can get. So we're
as mature as that can be.
whereas our maturity level is about equivalent to the average room temperature of a blizzard.
Fuck.
So we're good is what I'm saying.
Average.
Yeah. But the monkey brains, monkey sex. Don't watch that.
Monkey sex.
Uh, uh, so River, you gonna compete?
I don't have a partner.
Oh, sucks to suck, or not suck in
None
this
of
case.
us, none of
In
us
this case,
do. None of
If you
us
don't have
can
a
participate. None of us do. By
hey,
that
wait, hold
logic,
on, wait, Jem, you want to
what?
maybe participate with me?
In
that
your
is
dreams.
yeah, that's quite the pickup. I would rate it a 2 out of 10. I think you need to be a bit more slick about it.
You need more Riz.
you know,
I am
you
not
wanna
the like
you
I have
wanna
no charisma. I
you
will
want
be honest.
you wanna know something very fun. So I promise this relates. So I have recently been getting into. I've been getting I've been getting into a game called Grand Blue Fantasy, which I've mentioned a few times.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
for those who don't know, it's a gotcha mobile game. I know I'm sorry. I'm so sinful. Um,
Let's go gambling.
let's go gambling.
I saw I saw an alternate version of that. He made like an alternate version of that where he goes, "Let's go gambling," and then he goes, "Ah, dang it." He goes, and then a news broadcast starts, and he's like, "It looks like a plane hit the first tower."
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Gambling, but in 2001.
It's
yeah,
really bad.
I
Anywho, Amber, what were you gonna say?
but so for the record, by the way, you literally cannot, like, this is, even if I wanted to, I couldn't spend money on Grand Blue, because Grand Blue Fantasy is a Japanese only game that just happens to have an English translation. Uh, because you can play it in English, you can also play it in Japanese. The game is only officially technically released in Japan. You can just be English and create an account and play it in English. And the way that microtransactions work, it is more so a browser game and less of an app, though it's very much designed for phones. And the way that you buy things in games is through, you have to sign up for the game through one of a few different accounts, and they're all like Japanese like site accounts. And one of them is some place called like MOBA whatever. Um, and the way that you get things in the game, you pay with real money, is by getting this currency on that account called MOBA coins. And you use that to buy things in game. The only issue is that you can only buy MOBA coins with a Japanese distributed credit card. So if you're an American, you literally cannot spend money on the game if you wanted to. Uh, so that's the thing. It's less of a predatory gotcha game and more of a, it could be a predatory gotcha game, but I'm American. Um, uh,
So this, I'm sorry. This what was that relating to exactly?
I don't know. I'm just explaining it. The point is, I've gotten into Grand Blue Fantasy, and maybe I'll talk more about this later on the podcast or after this. But the reason I was tying it into was because there is a character by the name of Lo Wayne, which I have talked about before on the podcast, and how fucking silly he is. But it gets sillier, because I was looking at his wiki page, on I was looking at his wiki page on the wiki, and one thing to note is that Grand Blue Fantasy has it has different versions of characters. Like, a character will be a different rarity or a different element or be have a different costume, whatever. It's different versions. They have various stat differences and potentially like different moves. But Lo Wayne is very funny because I only started playing this recently, so I only knew him from how goofy he was in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus and Versus Rising. Um, but looking at his fucking moves in like normal Grand Blue Fantasy is amazing because base Lowain is already got some stuff. He has a skill called Time to Partay, which gives a boost to attack based on the number of female party members. Uh, cool. Not that funny, but neat. Uh, he has but then you get to the event version of Lowain, which involves his normal attack, or excuse me, his charge attack being called Totally Rad Strat Meat. Um, one of his one of his skills is called Awesome Sauce.
Awesome
Uh,
sauce.
and another one of his skills is called Totally Forbidden Skills, spelled with a Z. Um, then you have the Lowain Bros. It's him and his two cohorts. His charge attack is called Giant Beefcake. Uh, and two of his skills are called It's Lit and Gigantic Bod. Uh, those are all very goofy. Then you get to his SSR version, which includes such highlights as the skill Let the Macho Flow, which applies to your teammates a status effect called Rizzed Up.
That's funny.
It is. This game came out in 2014, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I don't
okay.
know. I don't. This still gets updated. I don't know when this particular version of him got released. But this is so. This has been. Also, there is a support skill called Let Him Cook.
Wow, this okay. Wow, that was really ahead for his time.
Yeah. So this game came out in 2014, but obviously this wasn't added in 2014. This character was added later down the line, or this specific variant of the character. They didn't come up with Rizzed Up in 2014.
Okay.
But I really love how on the wiki they have to explain this in all seriousness. So the effect description for Let the Macho Flow is Rizz Up a random other dark ally, restore 10% of another random dark ally's HP and grant them Rizzed Up. Rizz varies depending on ally style, won't Rizz an already Rizzed ally. And they have to say that in full seriousness to explain what it does.
That's so fun.
I fucking love Lowain. The concept of Lowain should be so unbelievably cringy, but it's just so funny to me for some reason, and I don't know why. I've also been sharing with Fia various screenshots of dialogue where I had I was doing a character's fate episode, which is just the game's like
Story mode?
a kind of it's stories for individual characters. Like each character gets a fate episode, which is just like tells their story of how they met your group and sort of the things that they went through while they were in your crew and all that. Gives more depth to characters, which I like. And I like to give one character that I really like, but she is a more recently added character, which explains this stuff. But two of her dialogue lines are when your group first meets her, she asks, what? Are you trying to scout me or something? That's so sus. And then later on, when she kind of later on in her towards the end of her fate episodes, for the record, she references a character called Vega, which is a possessed dagger that hangs around her. Not important. But she has the dialogue line, if I end up in hot water on your watch, Vega's gonna be mad, no cap. So the dialogue
like
is
that.
the dialogue is something else in this game. And I love it. I don't know. This game is so goofy, for all the right reasons. in my opinion. Also, it has the most queer representation I've ever seen in any game ever. That's a joke,
Really?
but well, I mean, partly a joke. It has a lot of queer representation. Um, there in out of the characters I know, there are already two canonically trans characters. So that's cool. There's also a canonically lesbian yandere girl. So that's a
With
thing.
Yonder.
Yeah.
Um,
What are you so concerned about her?
oh no, it just reminded me of something that's been
What,
popping
Yandere
up recently.
Simulator?
No. You know, I'll continue. I'll probably get into that later.
All right. Um, but hey, fun game. I've been playing it like way too much recently. But it's fun. I think to be honest, like it does to compare it to other like similar games. Like compare it to other gacha games. Like say take Genshin Impact, the most popular gacha game ever. I'm pretty sure. I can't think of something that's more popular. There might
Cookie
be.
Run, maybe.
What?
Probably
Cookie
around,
Run,
yeah,
maybe.
probably.
Can you say it again?
Cookie Run.
Oh, Cookie Run. I don't know. Cookie Run is very popular, but I'm not sure if it's more popular than Genshin. Because like
Not more popular, but
Genshin absolutely blew up at like the internet, and Cookie Run blew up us a part of the internet that cares about it. Because I think the part of the appeal of Genshin was that it had a computer version, which made it like for the people that don't care to play mobile games, and plus it was more gameplay than RPG side view battler, which to be fair, Grand Blue Fantasy is, but whatever. So because there's a lot of gameplay in Genshin. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of shit to explore, and people like that. They like their content, and being able to do more than two things. I think what Grand Blue Fantasy does, while still being a boring, while still being boring gameplay wise, like relatively, because most people are gonna want to play something else. It's just the addiction that draws you back in. um, but I think one thing it does better than a lot of mobile games is actually have characters. um, I think Grand Blue is more of a. It does a lot better on the story. Now I don't follow Genshin story, and while it does have a very good story, from what I've heard at first, I've also heard a lot from Fox in the Ramble channel that it's gotten worse and worse over time. So
The story?
yeah, the story of Genshin, like it's gotten way more convoluted and a bunch of bullshit and
Oh.
various
Except for
things.
the Grand Blue story.
Hmm?
I thought for a moment you meant Grand Blue story, not Genshin.
No, Genshin's according to Fox at least has slowly gotten more ridiculous. I think Fox is even pretty much off the game now and has transitioned over to Honkai Star Rail. Which is I've played both. Honkai Star Rail is the story is better, or at least I don't want to say at least from what I've played. I want to say better. I want to say I enjoyed Star Rail more, but otherwise, I think that like Genshin does flesh out its characters because they appear in the story, but also I don't know, like there's something about Genshin that just makes me want to fall asleep more often than I would expect. Like I don't know, like the more I played Genshin, the more I just felt like I just want to skip this dialogue. Even if it was like story,
Wow.
even if it was like story important or like main story shit, I just
You skipping dialogue? Is
yeah.
it really that bad?
It's not. I don't know. It felt kind of like I didn't skip the dialogue because I don't generally like doing that. The most that I'll do is just kind of skim it. Um, Sometimes I'll read it out in full. Sometimes I'll just skim it and kind of grab the necessary information, and usually that results in me not understanding. Uh, but that's also because I have a very slow brain, so it could also be that. But the thing was, is that like at a certain point, where there's a lot of rustling going on around there in your mic, River.
I'm sorry. Just trying to get comfortable.
Fair enough. But for me, it's like I don't know. At a certain point, it was especially with how many fucking side objectives there are. It's like I don't know, like especially because there's not a lot of. It's not so much focus on characters as it is you and the occasional interaction with characters that matter. Because there's a lot of times where they have to have generic character that appears only for this quest speak something. Uh, and and you can tell because they look, you know, like a generic model as opposed to the 50 million outfit bedazzlements that are on all the playable characters or the story relevant characters. Um, but I don't know. It kind of got to a point where it was like, man, there's. I think what the issue that I have, it throws so much world building on you that you kind of just get lost in it. Like it's kind of the fault of like some people like big world building like that, and I don't mind it also. But also it's the thing of the world of Genshin is so big and there's so many things to get to understand. There's like this formation that there's the adepti and the whatever that you have to understand, and there's different species of things that and the different species of things are really hard to distinguish because they all look like humans. How can I tell that you're an adepti? You look just like me. Like it's really hard to because like I would forget so often of what a character was supposed to be. Like they're supposed to be part of this organization. Okay, how do I tell that? They're not wearing an attire that really matches that organization. They are wearing an attire that is like every other attire in this game. The only exception to this is the Fatui because they all wear that weird like bird mask thing, and that's it. And I guess they kind of dress similarly, but like that's the only faction that really dresses uniquely there.
I just sent mine.
River's family has entered the room.
Yep. Sorry, grandmother came in.
But like it just got so confusing. And I don't know. It's just have either of you played Genshin at all? River, I know you have. I don't know how. I don't know how much.
I've played a little bit, I guess. I mean, I can't really say a whole lot about it because I haven't gotten too far into it, but I mean, for what it's worth, it's okay, but the problem for me that I'm having, this is like semi-related, but also kind of not really. The problem that I'm having is that I play on mobile, so I fucking hate the touchscreen controls. I don't like it at all.
It's
I have
funny.
I've installed a third-party app to help me. Son of a bitch. I've installed a third-party app to help me set up using my gamepad because I don't like using the whatchamacallit,
The mobile layout.
the mobile layout. Thank you.
Yeah. It's funny when you can tell games are designed for mobile and then put on a computer because there are all the buttons are still present on screen in the PC version. They just have the keybinds next to them so you can know what they are. It's also like I feel like that's a thing with like cuz most computer games, it like say any first person shooter game, they don't need to have like some prompt they don't need to have some on-screen prompt to tell you how to aim, reload, or like do something else. You just go to keybinds, or it tells you a tutorial. Press this key to do this. Okay, cool. In mobile games ported to PC like Genshin, they have to put everything on screen and put a like a button prompt, even though you can kind of remember that pressing. I'm sure that people will understand that pressing X to will drop you off a climbing wall. Though the button is still there and it still shows the keybind in Genshin because it's there on the mobile thing. I can understand it more for the skills because they have cooldowns, and for the ultimate it has a meter. So I can understand why those are still on screen because you need to visually see cooldowns. At the same time, they're big and button-like.
Your mom is big and button-like.
I don't. What does that mean?
I think she means she's fat. I think that's what River's saying, and that's
I
not.
don't know. I don't even know what I'm
Not
saying
nice,
anymore.
River. Be nice. I'm kidding.
But yeah, it's
you
not.
know what, Jem? You're big and button-like. How you like me now?
The same.
The same?
Likes are the same. No change from that remark. But yeah, it's not a. I don't want to say my pointing that out is like a knock against mobile games ported to PC. It's fine. It doesn't really harm the game, but at the same time, it takes up screen space and makes it look kind of busy, which like which is like kind of a necessary evil in mobile games. But in PC games, you don't need to do that because you're not interacting with the screen. You can just remember the buttons. Like, you think Minecraft has like 15 button prompts to open your inventory or do this or do that? Like, I know Minecraft's probably not the best example because it's like like it doesn't have a button prompt to switch item to your offhand or something. But like, I feel like you could at the very least just change the PC version and just like remove the things, because like you could just have, you don't need to make it so that a bunch of the options are a bunch of the different menu options are scattered in a row across the top. You could just have go into your inventory and go to them. It's which is what most games do. It's very much a thing of like, that's not a and it's like I said, it's not a bad thing, but I kind of wish that it would account more for, I can remember the button prompts. I don't need to. At the very least, they remove the jump button because that would be even more useless. I don't need to know how to jump by pressing space. It still does the when you climb, it still has the X. It still has the drop and jump up buttons, which you don't need because they are bound to space and X, and those are easy to remember. It also kind of, I don't think there's any way to change keybinds in game. There might be. I've never had to. But it also binds a lot of buttons to different menu things, which is fine. And like, I don't think that's a mobile ick. I don't know how else to call it. But sorry, small tangent. Anyway,
I'm sure that I would call that more than just a small tangent, Amber.
comparatively to how much I talk about other things, me talking about the mobile layout is a small tangent. But back to my point. Genshin story gets boring. Cause it just throws so much dumb shit at you. Not dumb. I think the world building is interesting, but at the same time, you could do it a bit better than telling me everything. Like, this is an open world game. Do more like visual storytelling and not just have a character exposition me by talking for 3 minutes. Like, make it more interesting. This ain't a visual novel. This ain't some mobile gotcha game that is mostly a visual novel. It's an open world game with things that you could find and interact with. I can learn the story through more ways than a character that says everything and leaves nothing to interpretation. Or some things to interpretation. But, on the flip side, which was the whole point of me explaining this, Grand Blue Fantasy, I think, while it falls into the visual novel thing, sure, you can like visual novels, you can't. I don't mind visual novels. Um, I think that it ends up being a lot better because the there's a main storyline and then there's a bunch of other stuff. Uh, the main story is you kind of just get it's kind of like any storyline of any gotcha game with a bunch of characters where it focuses on the main cast. More and more of the main cast gets introduced along the way, and then you also get introduced to various important characters that show up for plot reasons. But and then they have their 5 minutes of fame in the story, and then you never see them again in the story. And then maybe you'll get a few other things if the developers are partial to that character, which is most mobile games, like Genshin Impact, where you have the characters, you meet all the playable characters throughout the course of the story, and they have their 5 minutes of fame. Some maybe 30 minutes of fame if they're feeling generous, or they're significantly relevant, like the various archons. And the ones that get a lot of screen time are cool and they have a lot of development. And then there's also the hangout events that exist in the game where there's like quests tied to specific characters and also just straight up hangouts with characters. However, this only applies to a select few characters in their very large roster. So if you were hoping to spend some quality time with your niche favorite character, suck it. You can. So it only really develops. Generally, it only really develops the more plot relevant characters, and a few extras if they're lucky. Which I don't blame them because that's effort to put in, and doing it for every character could be a lot more effort than maybe it's worth. I don't know. I'm not a game developer yet. But and
what
also
classifies someone as a game developer? I know that's kind of like a broad question, but
I don't know. I would kind of say like a game developer, maybe not necessarily published a game, but someone who kind of like actively works on games. I don't really actively work on games. I kind of do it every now and then, like when I'm feeling particularly creative. So that's why I don't really call myself a game dev because I'm not like doing it crazy. I just do it occasionally. Um, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like something that would classify someone as a game dev is someone who like has actively published a piece of art or maybe something that has to do like but it's something specifically like for you know I don't want to say like I want to say that it's like artwork or music or whatever that has been published for a game, and I'm I'm going to premise I'm going to preface this by saying AI art does not count because I don't consider AI art to be real art.
Woo.
So I I listen. There was a time when I thought AI art could be cool for a couple of reasons, but as someone who's recently been trying to get their um I guess like I guess as someone who's been trying to get uh better at art, using AI is not the way to go.
Yeah, never.
And now that I've spent time putting in effort to like make good art pieces, it's very insulting when someone with AI says, "Oh yeah, I could do this better." It doesn't. It just doesn't sit right with me, I guess. So
Yeah.
AI art and AI artists, go fuck yourselves.
They're not artists.
I'm putting artist in heavy quotes, by the way.
AI image generators. Uh, yeah. It's, yeah. AI sucks. Fuck. Uh, AI is useful in some ways, but most of the time people don't use it for those ways. So you're all fired.
So you're all fired.
But yeah, I think I don't know. AI sucks. Clap. We're so proud of your bravery for opening up and admitting that fact. Um, but anyway, AI art sucks. Back to what I was talking about. I'm taking control of the conversation. I'll shut up
As you
after
normally do.
I'll shut up after this so you people can talk. But um so you lesser beings can say your words or whatever.
Lesser beings, go fuck yourself.
um but yeah, it's the stories I was talking about. Genshin characters doesn't do it for everyone. Some characters are kind of underbaked. I'm sure every character in Genshin is someone's
Put them
favorite.
back in the oven.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sure every character in Genshin is someone's favorite. Like, it's like someone out there is a huge fucking fan of this one character that shows up in the story for 5 minutes and is kind of relevant, but not really in the grand scheme of things. And they just kind of exist and are playable. And to you, congrats. I hope that you get more of it. I guess you probably won't, but I hope you do. Um, so it's kind of like a thing of like characters have varied amounts of death because varied amounts of death. What? Varied amounts
Death?
of varied amounts of depth.
Blood, violence.
Yes, characters have varied amounts of death. Sometimes they die. Sometimes they die twice.
And sometimes, if you're feeling spicy, they die 3 times.
And sometimes, if you're lucky, they never die. And sometimes if you're really unlucky, they die once, but in a really unsatisfying way.
Most Super Smash Bros. Ultimate matches. Anyways.
I don't think that counts quite in the way that we're talking about.
No, I know, but I figured I would still try to relate the two somehow.
You know what? Fair enough. But yeah, the characters in Genshin have varied amounts of deaths based on how much the characters want to pander to them. Like I'm sure fan favorite characters get a whole lot of stuff, and characters that are relevant. You know what's funny is the first character you ever meet in the game being Amber. Haha, me. Haha.
Oh, she's the one with the red stuff, right?
Yeah. Go Banner Bunny. Man, I used to play the game in English. I switched to Japanese. I don't know why. Don't ask why. But I had English voices at first in Genshin, and I switched to Japanese. And God, some of those voice lines are fucking burned into my brain.
Which lines?
A few of the lines, specifically the ones from Ketching, because that is the 5-star character I got and used for most of my first playthrough, and her English lines, like I'll hear them and I'll like have flashbacks. uh, in adventuring, as in business, you always need to seize the opportunity while it's there. Thank you. I've heard that 15 million times. You can shut up. uh, but
I'm glad to know that you've heard it so many times that you can recite the line word for word.
yeah. Uh, but there is. But yeah, there's. Uh, but Amber appears in early in the story. Uh, you want to know how much? You want to know how much story relevance she gets and how much additional content she gets after the main story? Fucking nothing. Once you kind of leave once you leave the first area, she kind of disappears and is like mentioned in
Becomes
passing.
irrelevant.
Yeah, she's like mentioned in passing by a few characters. Like there's a character later on in uh Dendro area, I forget what it's called. But like by as being friends with one of the characters. That's about the most that I can remember that she's mentioned since. Maybe she's mentioned a couple times by your character, more specifically by Paimon. Um, but
Oh yeah, Paimon's a thing. I forgot she even existed, I'll be honest.
what is it with what is it with like I'm surprised you forgot she existed considering she is there
Well, I
90%
know,
of the
but
time.
like I played the game for like maybe 2 weeks and then I put it down and I haven't touched it since. So
Fair enough.
and
It's
that was like 2 months ago. So
it's why does every like gotcha game have like this they have to have this small like high-pitched voice companion to the main character that has like a single joke that is made nonstop about them. Like it's in Genshin Impact, it's Paimon and the joke is that she's emergency food or something. Uh even
wasn't that joke reused a lot when they first started
yes,
advertising the game?
it was used a lot, and also it's used a lot in game. It comes up a
Uh,
decent amount. Um,
oh no.
I'm thinking about other gacha games. So Grand Blue Fantasy, for the record, does you have a small dragon partner named Viren, and the joke about him is that everyone thinks he's a flying lizard, and he gets mad because he's a dragon. Uh,
A flying lizard.
yeah, everyone the very like this is done even more because every character upon seeing Viren will immediately knee-jerk reaction, oh hey, it's a lizard, without fail. uh I don't there is not a single character that has not called him a lizard so far. uh so it's a joke that happens a lot. Surprisingly, I haven't gotten tired of it. But who knows how long that will last. Um, but the but like also trying to think of other gotcha games. I don't play other gotcha games that much. Um, I get like the only other one that I've really played is Honkai Star Rail, which has Pom Pom, but he's not really a constantly stuck to you companion, and also doesn't have a particular single joke that's constantly made about them that I can think of. Um, but yeah, the but yeah, well, like I was saying, Amber, forgotten. uh, just like the real me. Okay.
You know that one image of like there's a thumbnail that says Nintendo forgot about Mario. Yeah, that's
Mihoyo forgot about Amber.
yeah. There you go.
But yeah. So
Can we get an edited image of the monkey brains forgot about Amber and then just a really sad like image of Amber? Just
someone would have to draw that, I guess.
Gem, no.
I'm not.
I've got things on my plate.
No, do you? Do you
Yeah,
now? Sure.
something I
I
have.
already,
Mister,
I
I'm working
already,
on refs for art fight. Sure.
I
Oh,
already, I
I
already
have other
have,
things.
I already have a request for a gem loaded on his plate. I'm not gonna ask him for
Yeah,
another
I
thing.
know. That's what I was gonna mention. I have something that I'm working on
Another
for
thing
this.
is that Jem said he would work on. He said that he would help me put together a couple of character reps like a long time ago, and then he never did.
Yeah, I didn't, and you should probably stop remembering that.
Oh, I'm gonna hold that over your head until either it's done or the day I die. Whatever comes first.
uh, yeah, I'm not asking anything more, Gem. You do the art you need to do, and then I will proceed to not ask you for art ever again because I never do that to anyone.
You
uh,
should. You should continue.
I should continue bugging my favorite artist to draw me things. You, please.
Please.
No, you. Please, with a cherry on top, please, please, please.
You, would he please? I would like it very much.
I was touching. I was doing the little like touching fingertips when saying that. It's like,
I
like,
would really like it if you'd make some
like
offer me.
yeah, like point at the screen. It's like you, and then do the little touching fingertip, please.
Yeah, it's me. That's me asking for art, pretty much. I don't think I've ever once asked someone to draw me. I've pretty much just asked, can you draw this thing for me? I don't ask for, like, drawings of me. I don't think I ever have. Not that I can, not to my memory. At least, I
You
don't
coward.
know. I am.
It's funny because River is the complete end of the spectrum. River asks everybody for art.
River
Well,
posts.
not everybody. I have asked for
Well,
art, but not everybody.
okay, yeah,
River
I am
posts.
exaggerating, but you do ask way more than Amber.
Yeah, you asked. You even used the art bounty board, which is funny because we created that channel, and then it like rarely ever do the bounties get claimed.
I should have never even requested for that stupid thing to be up there because I was the one who was like, yeah, let's put up the artist bounty board as like, hey, if somebody like wants to draw something, they could take it from the bounty board. And like I had like visions for this thing and then nobody fucking used it.
Yeah, like people will put in requests in there like once every few days, and then it's like a 1 out of 3 shot that someone will be like, oh, sure, I'll draw that, and then beyond that, it's an even lower shot that they will actually follow up on it. it's it was a good idea in concept, but in practice,
They did not take into account how lazy everybody.
And
I'm kidding.
it's especially funny because I recently started putting my character references up on Artfight, and Fox, the kind soul that they are, uh, reached out to me and was like, "Oh yeah, you should probably get an icon for your character Nikki up on there." And something I something that I find hilarious about Fox is Fox has drawn fan art of my character Nikki before. So when she had said this, she gave me the icon. She gave me like an animated icon for Nikki to put up on my Artfight profile, and I was like, "You like." I just find it funny that you like this is the second piece that you've made of Nikki. Is there something you want to tell me? Just jokingly, and Fox said, "I love pointy ears." Okay, was their response. So
I have this like selfish desire inside of my brain that's just like, you need to create more characters, not because you want to, but because you'll get more art. More people will actually draw you. I the thing is like I do not as many have noticed, I do not talk much in the FFE, not because I don't want to, but because I never talk in servers ever, or talk much outside of DMs anyway. Uh, so it's and like I still want to interact in there and be there because my friends are there, but at the same time, it's
Mhm.
like I'm very forgotten. I don't think I'm as forgotten because I'm kind of a longer standing member, but I'm definitely forgotten to some extent. Uh, and I don't know, like I don't know if that like hurts me, but I don't think it
You
helps me.
don't sound very hurt.
I'm not. No, I mean, like, I don't know, because like my perspective on it is like, would I like to have more people pay attention to me? Yes, not for like narcissistic reasons, but for like I want to have friends.
I want to have friends.
I went on a ramble about this in another episode like sometime back where I was like, God, I want to interact and be friends with more people in the FFE. Like I want to talk to Fox more. I want to talk to Frith more. I don't. uh,
Don't you mean Freya?
oh God. I looked
Doesn't
over I looked over at my DMs list while I was saying that, and her display name is Frith, so you can't
Yeah,
blame
You
me.
don't have.
She's
Wait,
fine
I'm
with
sorry. You
either.
don't have friend nicknames attached to like
I
people on your friends list.
I don't
I do.
I don't really give
I have
friend
you. I have Amber as the one who messages me all the time. I have you as. I'm kidding.
I don't
I'm
message you
kidding.
all the time.
I just have you by the actual name that you guys go.
Yeah, I think there are only maybe one or two people that I have friend nicknames set to, and it is literally just for like, actually no, I think I have literally no one. Literally no one has a friend nickname. Everyone is just their display name because I don't see the point. I know who you are. Like I could dick around with it.
There's no
I
point. I know who you are.
I could dick around with it and like name you bullshit, but I don't know. I don't have any. I'm not funny enough to do that. uh,
All
The only
right,
I think
then I'm gonna set your nickname on my friends list as transcoder girl. That should be.
wow, you sum me up in 3 words. My entire personality has been boiled down to a single summary.
What would mine be? I'm curious.
Let me put something
Boil
into
me.
perspective.
Well, no, I mean like.
Let me put you into perspective.
All right, enlighten me. Put me into perspective.
Well,
Why don't you?
since you're even you proudly display "Yes, I'm trans" in your custom status. So we obviously we obviously
Yeah.
we obviously have to stick trans on there. You make music, so we will
Occasionally.
slap music on there, and then
I make a lot of things. I do.
we will
I
also degrade you by putting F and F modder in there.
fuck.
Because that is most of what you create.
That's not most of it.
Excuse me. It's a majority of it.
It's a majority, not most. Dick.
It's your most well known. It's your most well known thing that you make. F and F.
But I do other things besides F and
and
F.
also
It's
and
not
also,
my entire. I'm gonna like pull a Fia here and say it's not my entire personality, assholes.
we're also just for some spice we'll add Mama's boy because or Mama's girl in this case.
Yeah, I'm a mama's kid. I can't help it. I love my mama.
Yeah, I think that's the good descriptor of your.
Well,
That's good.
okay, so just to sum it up here, I have been
I
effectively
think you are
summarized as
the Mama's trans girl FNF developer. FNF mod
Mamas.
dev.
I'm gonna type this down. Mamas and girl FNF
FNF mod dev.
mod dev. And I'm going to quote you for this one.
Congratulations, it's you. It's you.
It's me.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
I was in the middle of taking a drink and I almost spit it everywhere. you said you said Five Nights at Freddy's, and I almost spit my drink out. It's so funny. It should not have been that funny. Holy shit.
Well, there you go. There's what River is. Congrats,
All right, now let's boil Jim.
Terraria for starters.
Why? Wait, that's not. Okay, fine, sure.
If we're boiling it down to like, this is basically stereotypes. So because we included FNF mod dev on River, that's what she does a lot. I don't know. I guess like if we're going like creative works, you would just be artist. Congrats.
That's it.
You're an artist.
Congrats.
You
That's
make
it.
you draw.
I have no other qualities whatsoever.
you're the we also have to put in that you're the cis het one of the group.
Right.
The cisgender heterosexual non-verbal artist.
Neat.
Neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent.
It's look, if there's anyone who gets the plaster of neurodivergent on their description, it's Fia.
Oh yeah, that's true.
She gets neurodivergent. She gets Splatoon. She gets in addition to neurodivergence to really nail it down, she also has autism.
Oh yeah.
Because
what was it that I made this joke before of like, if we stuck Gem, Fia, and Soul in a room that they could talk for hours, and then Gem said something funny like, no, let's put the autists in there. It's Fia, and then he called me out, and
you, Fia, and Soul, and then you would be talking for ages.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I feel like the thing with me is that I talk a lot, but it's about my own interests. When it's about someone else's interest, I just go, that's cool. Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah. We can, don't worry, we can see, we know.
It's very much, I mean, I feel like that's all of us. Actually.
Oh yeah, that's fine though.
That describes all. I mean, yeah, it's fine. We just get to take the stage and let no one else have the stage. For a sort of, I still haven't finished my rant because we got so sidetracked. But
oh boy,
you people act like it's the end of the world when I talk about things. You people are so ungrateful. I need to. At this point, I should just make a YouTube channel.
To shoot
another one.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah, I know. I already have a channel.
That's so funny.
I don't think I've ever heard Jim like genuinely crack up like that.
Something that makes me crack up is like dumb little like voice, like
noises,
like the way that
like,
someone says stuff
like
is
mocking.
the most. Not really. It's like it's
goofy
very
ways
much
of
stuff,
speech.
Kinda. It's like, but that and how I interpret it, because like you didn't even mean to. You just made it like a bypass comment, and it's like, oh, like that was funny. It's almost like there's like a time that Aku was in VC and I was there too, and then he just says like no, but he said in like a very dismissive like, oh no, I don't kind of care that. And like he said it in that way, and I just started cackling, and no one else was laughing either. It was just me. I guess it's just I guess it's just how I see how someone says it. I just find it funny. I don't know. The way you said that was really funny.
It was.
I just want to say real quickly, I was taking a look through the FFV soundboard, and I've noticed that we have "Let's Go Gambling."
Yeah,
Oh,
Amber
dang it!
Yeah, I added that.
Uh,
Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it.
Yeah, I added that like a day or two ago. So that's there now. But so now you can annoy your friends with that one.
I'm going to.
Enjoy. But anyway, before this, I'm gonna continue my rant so you all can stop. We don't have to get sidetracked from it, and I can finish it, so you people don't have to listen to me anymore. But anyway, I've talked enough about my irks with my irks with Genshin's story as a comparison, and now I move on to talking about Grand Blue Fantasy, because that was the whole point, was to compare the two. So, Grand Blue Fantasy, I mentioned it's a visual novel. Some people like that, some people won't. If you don't, fair. I mean, honestly. It's a visual novel with side view RPG battles. Shocker. Real surprising there. But what it does is I like a lot better. Surprisingly, than Genshin, because the world building is easy to understand, and there's a surprising amount that you can understand without it being explained to you, or just kind of indirectly explained to you, because like the world itself is a bunch of floating islands with just called the Sky Realm, with a lot of like the below the sky people don't really explore and assume that if you fall down there you fucking die. So it's not, I think the only game that has ever done anything to explore the below the sky is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which the first plot point of that game is you, the protagonist, and your soul link connected girlfriend kind of fall down into the clouds below and land down there. So that's pretty much, as far as I know. I haven't gotten that far in the story of the main game, but as far as I know, that's the only time that I've seen the place below. But that is never actually like explicitly told to you in the thing that I have, or as far as I've gotten, because they don't need to. It's A, visually obvious, and B, characters reference it, and you can kind of easily understand it. And there's a few other things that you can understand just by guessing or just by intuition. And other things that they do, there's not a lot of stuff being shoved on you all at once. You're obviously traveling to a bunch of different islands with a bunch of their own stories, but you don't need to understand. It doesn't like try to explain things that aren't things that really need that really need to be understood. Like, for example, there exists a few different races of characters, being humans, obviously, drafts, which are like very built horned characters. Every character is humanoid, but them are different. There are uh, Irunes, which are like fox people, is the best way to describe it. Um, okay, Jem just said BRB. And then there are Harvins, which are basically the dwarves. They're small. That's what they are. And they have little like elf ears. Um, I believe that is. I believe that's. I think that's every race. But but they also just have. Oh yeah, there's also primals, which is like. That would take a bit more lore to explain. Basically, primals are like war weapons that were created, which is the very basic explanation of it. Um, but there are a few different ones, and you don't necessarily need to know. You don't necessarily need to know like, there's no like plot point about a character being a race. They just are. Sometimes the race plays a factor. Like, there's a character that's a Harvin, and that's kind of self-aware about their short stature compared to all the people around
You're
them.
short.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, curious. So, the one that I'm thinking of, do they have an official height for her? 90 centimeters. How much is that in feet? 90 centimeters to feet. That is about 3 feet. A little less than 3 feet. So, yeah, Harvins are small. But they're like, you don't have to be explained it. And also, because they are different races, you can visually see the difference. Like, you can see the horns and say, oh, that's a giraffe. You can see the short stature, as long as they're not like an actual child, and be, oh, that's a Harvin. You can look at the fox ears and be, oh, that's an Arune. It's really easy to distinguish. If they don't have any of those, they're a human. Simple. Primals are not as easily distinguished, but generally they have some sort of oddity to them, I want to say. The humanoid ones, at least. The ones that aren't are a lot easier to tell. But, it's easy, unlike in Genshin, where I criticize the fact that how the fuck do I tell what faction you're from, or if you're a different race, or if you're a god? I cannot tell. You all look the same. But in this game, it's easy. And that's not that big of a plus, nor that big of a minus on... Actually, it's kind of a fairly decent minus, at least for me personally, in Genshin, but it's not something that ruins it for me. I just think it's a neat little... a thing that is cool to have for Grand Blue Fantasy. It doesn't... The story progresses in... the only criticism I have of the overall story is the dialogue, in the sense that the dialogue is not poorly written, but they have to write in the characters occasionally getting interrupted for the sake of, we have to put an encounter here, so here's some monsters. So there are frequent points where it's like, the character's in the middle of saying something, and it's like, hold that thought, there's monsters, we need to defeat them. And which happens quite frequently. But it's gameplay, it's whatever. Break from reading. I kind of get it. And the characters, while they also have the thing of you have all your story characters, which obviously have a lot of development because you see them the entire story, so you see their, everything. And also occasionally characters, there's like side missions that you can do, which like, they don't really expand on lore. They're more just like smaller world building of the different areas. But one thing that it does do is every single character that you can get has fate episodes, which I mentioned earlier, and it tells like a full story, like a full. It goes into their backstory. It goes into how they met you, what they're doing on the ship, and sometimes with different variants of characters, you can get even more stories, which delves even more into their thing. Now that's obviously a privilege for certain characters that have, you know, more variants. But it is neat to have. And even more beyond that, while this isn't as universal of a thing, some characters also get starring roles. A decent amount of characters get starring roles in side stories, which is stories that are just exclusively kind of focused around a few specific characters. Sometimes one, sometimes more, generally more than one. And it expands them even more, which creates a lot more reason to actually give a shit about most of the characters. Which I do. I give a shit about more characters in Grand Blue Fantasy than I do about the entirety of Genshin Impact. Because it's like, wow, this character is neat because they look cool. What's their story? I don't know. They don't
I don't know.
like, and plus it's like all the story of the characters is in the game. I don't have to go watch some animated short or read some description on a website, which I think MiHoYo does occasionally. I don't think they do that much, so I'm not gonna like bash them for it. But if I want to find out things about them, it'd be cool if I found them out in game. I don't mind trivia if you want to put trivia out there, but I don't want important, like, significant lore cool tidbits to be outside of the game. It should be in there. Why is it not there? But the characters are generally better, more likable. Pretty much all of them are fleshed out to some point where they have an actual story that you can care about. I said care. I've been saying the word care way too much. Take a shot every time I do.
Might want to do that with sips of beer.
Or
Or if you're not old enough, do soda.
or milk if you.
Or milk. Or no, or maybe tea if you're lactose intolerant.
I don't know. Whatever drink you want. It's a free country.
It's a free country.
The monkey.
It's ironic.
The monkey brains will support whatever decision you make unless you are taking like hard whiskey. Don't drink in game to our podcasts with hard liquor. I don't know. We don't support that. If you're going to drink responsibly, kids and adults. But most importantly, adults, because
it's
those
ironic
are the ones...
how red, white, and blue signify the colors of freedom until you see them flashing behind your car. Anyway,
guys,
I can't take credit for that joke. My cousin came up with that joke.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that joke online. So I don't think your cousin came up.
Whatever.
Your cousin's not original.
Dude, my point is, I'm not the first to hear the joke. So,
if someone ever comes up with a joke that's completely original and no one's ever thought of it before, you are like a god, because that never happens. But
I came up with a joke when I was a kid, and it doesn't get as many laughs today, but I'm still proud of it.
What's the joke?
How do you get an instant milkshake?
How?
You scare a cow.
Alright, so anyway.
It's a good joke, damn you.
I wanted to draw out that silence as long as I could, so I just...
That silence was loud.
I can't wait until people. We needed like the cricket sound effect over it, like just ambiotic crickets. Uh, but
Thank you for not laughing at my joke, you asshole.
hey, anytime. Um, but thank you for the joke. I will now proceed to continue my rant. It's almost done. Don't worry. I don't have more. I don't have a lot more to say. Um, but yeah, the side story is also it's kind of funny because Granblue has this thing where you, the main character, are kind of like the universally loved character. Like they'll people will join your crew and warm up to you and I don't know crush on you question mark
Mary Sue.
is it like your main character is 15 so I don't want to say that but some characters definitely fall for you in a way. Uh, I don't know. I think it's just like they're charmed by you, but not in love. Because if they were in love, that would create some problems. Because again, they are 15. um, it's kind of a established thing. On your 15th birthday, you start your journey, and you never age past 15 because I guess this entire journey doesn't take place in greater than the span of a year. I guess. um, and other things. So another thing, like another couple things to note. They obviously Granblue Fantasy has generic character designs. Every game is going to because if you want to fill out a populated area, making a bunch of unique designs is a waste of resources. So just make templates. And obviously, Granblue Fantasy does that. Makes sense. I don't really blame them. But it still has enough variety that you can A, tell species, which I went over before. B, it's not like too repetitive, and generally even different factions have very distinct sprites in their own right. And even some non-playable characters have unique sprites of their own if they're story relevant enough. Hooray! Um, which is always nice to have. And that's like I want to say like that's cool, but also it's like basically the bare minimum to have enough variety that it's not incredibly boring. I don't know. um, but yeah, good story, good characters. So far, I'm enjoying the story, and so far, I am enjoying the characters. There are some characters that are obviously characters are going to be hit or miss. When you're a gotcha game with like a shit ton of characters, it's going to be like that. Um, it just be like that trademark. Um, but you know, some are cool. Some I already liked because I played before I played normal Granblue Fantasy. I played Granblue Fantasy Relink, which has a very limited amount of characters, but they all have Fate episodes and very expansive Fate episodes at that tell detailed stories, which means that I got to like the characters a whole lot in that. Um, and I got a lot of I got a lot of you get a lot of insight on the characters themselves in those Fate episodes. Um, in the main game, they have every character has two segments of Fate episodes. The first one is kind of an introductory thing. This is the character. This is how they met you. This is how they joined their team. Congrats. Things will happen in the future with this character. And then once they level up to a certain point, they will unlock an additional Fate episode that gives them a new skill when you complete it or whatever. And those have a lot more to them. There's more parts to them, and they go more into what the character's thing is, what they're like. So it's not like very surface level. And hey, I appreciate that. And aside from that, I mean, that's most of what the story is. It's good. The characters are good. I have like a couple more notes that are somewhat unrelated that I will go through quickly. One, for some reason, so remember when I said that drafts, the race of drafts, are very built. Um, this is reflected in both genders, being the fact that the males, not the way you think, by the way, or maybe the way you think. This is a gotcha game after all. The drafts, the males, are super fucking buff and have huge ripped muscles. And the women, female drafts, have massive fucking racks. Um, like all of them. Uh, there's even a event. There's even like a side quest that I did where it's a bunch of female drafts talking about how much of a pain it is they have massive fucking racks. Uh, so that's something. Uh, also, I mentioned I mentioned this being like a gacha game with one of the with one of the most queer with one of the most queer characters that I have really seen, rivaled only by a few games uh, that that the list of which does include it does include Guilty Gear, because that game is queer as fuck. um, but but yeah, so like obviously two canon trans characters is already way above the bar of what most games do in everything. um, and then a bunch of other canon queer characters, ones that I can't necessarily name. The main character is already opens up queer options by herself, because you can choose between being a male or female, but your companion is always female, and there's kind of a lot of implication that they're, have a crush on you. Don't worry, your companion is also like 15. And they have this regardless of what gender you are, and there is no significant dialogue changes between that. So congratulations, they are bisexual. And you cannot, and presumably your character would also be question mark. And I also want to mention the it's interesting how they portray their trans characters. There could be more than the two, because I don't know. I feel like I see the two and I'm like, wow, they're not afraid, are they? It's funny because the one trans character, one of the trans characters is is a Ladiva is her name. She is fucking jacked and also has a beard. Her being a male draft, which is why she's jacked, and she still has a beard. But she still, everyone, she goes by she, her in every reference ever. It's kind of presented very obvious. She's very into love. Her whole thing is love. She, and also, funnily enough, her gender is listed as other.
Other?
Yeah. So.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And then the other canon trans character is a character by the name of Cagliostro, who is the founder of alchemy in the world of Grand Fantasy, and originally she was a boy who just tried to research alchemy, very sickly, and couldn't do much. But they figured out through alchemy how to create a body, like a working alchemy body that they could transport their soul into, and just keep living on like that. So she's been living for like thousands of years at this point. Um, but and of course the body that this young male character decided to choose is a cute girl's body, and which is about as subtle as a transgender metaphor as a hammer hitting you straight in the face. It is an insult to even call it a metaphor. uh, because it basically is. It is that like both these characters are so unabashedly transgender that it is like, again, wow, they really weren't scared, were they? um, keep in mind, Cagliostro in particular is a character that has been around since the start of the game. So, 2014. As far as I'm aware, she has been in the game for a long time. In fact, I am going to search exactly when she was added. Um, okay, so yeah, Cagliostro has been in the game literally since the start. This game started in 2014. Her ad date is 2014. Congratulations. That is quite the early place to add representation. So applause to them. And let's go queers. Happy Pride Month. Anyway, that's it. That's my ramble. Now other people can talk.
Good grief, that was a ramble.
It was. I'm if you I said I got addicted to this game. I got addicted to this game. I've been playing it like pretty much exclusively.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it.
Thank you. I appreciate the gambling. And also there's a fighting game, which is cool, but I'm not talking about that. Anyway, what games have you been playing, River?
Games that I've been playing aren't nearly as interesting, I don't think.
You found it interesting? Aw, thank you.
I guess like the most interesting thing that I've done recently is play modded Minecraft with Soul. That's been something.
Ooh, that's neat. Man, modded Minecraft is the only way I play Minecraft anymore. Unless I'm doing like something in creative mode or like making a map, I only play modded. It's just so much more interesting.
It's same pretty much. The thing recently for me is finding a good mod.
Yeah, if you want to find good mods, just go back to 1.12.2 because that is like the modded version.
Yeah,
like most of the recent versions, like they have a decent amount of mods, but also there's like the thing of a lot of mods, like once you get to a certain point in Minecraft's development, like anywhere past 1.12.2 is this mod is cool, but there's not a lot of other things that I can really pick to go with it in like the current version. I might as well just go to the next version, and this repeats until you get to the latest version of Minecraft. And like why would you play on 1.19 modded Minecraft when you could play on 1.20? It doesn't have as many mods, but you have more base game content. And it's like, yeah, it's just kind of like you have like 1.8, maybe 1.7. I forget which specific I think it's 1.7. 1.7 was like was the modded version, and then we got to 1.12, and then that became the modded version, and we haven't really had another one of those since. So, if you're getting mods, do 1.12 if you want a shit ton of variety.
There's a couple of good mods for newer versions of Minecraft, but not nearly as many as 1.19.2.
Yeah, it is 1.19.2 definitely, because like, you know, obviously previous versions have had more time to cook the mods for, and I could be wrong about I could be wrong about the whole uh mods. I could be wrong about the whole like there isn't a new the modding thing, but it's gonna be hard to beat 1.12 because there's just so much. I have most of my mods are for 1.12. I only move on to the later version because 1.12 sucks compared to the more recent versions. Like it works really well for mods, but also there's so many missing features at this point from base game that it's like, God, I miss it. Ugh.
Agree all of a sudden.
Yeah, Minecraft. Yeah, I pretty much I either make maps, play maps, or play modded. That's my Minecraft experience.
Now, what do you mean specifically when you say you make maps?
I make my own maps, like not like builds. I don't do builds. I like make functional maps. Uh, like ones that you could do a playthrough of. Um,
Hmm.
I like that because I know. I always find because I feel like I find the stuff that you can do with command blocks so incredibly versatile and also just generally not that difficult to do interesting things. Like you can do absolutely fucking crazy shit with command blocks, but you know, that requires a lot of knowledge of how command blocks work and even some general coding knowledge. Um but you can
Mhm.
there's a lot of things you can do with just base commands that is really cool. And sometimes you can do that without needing too much knowledge. Like if you want an item to do a bunch of cool shit, you can just go on an item generator. You want to write a book with unique text, go on a
You
book
put your
generator.
cut in half lengthwise like your mom does. Huh?
Sorry, grandmother.
It's alright. But is it raining? It is raining outside. That is raining hard outside. In fact. Uh, but yeah. So that's nice. I get to listen to that. um, but yeah, like I like making maps. Love using command blocks because, like I said, easy and the stuff you can do with it, very cool. Especially with I'm always for me like people can complain about whatever new feature that Mojang is adding all they want, and you know maybe their priorities are slightly off, and you know sometimes they're kind of held to this high standard like modders have done this shit, why can't you? And I feel like that's kind of an unfair criticism. um Personally, whenever I look at patch notes, in the rare case that I look at Minecraft patch notes, I pay attention to the commands that they add because that's what I care about. The only I always like new versions of Minecraft because there's more ways to make maps on them, especially with 1.20 adding the tick freeze. God, that sounds fun. Um,
Mm.
the only thing that I think is that I'm not actually sure if tick freeze can be used in maps because that probably also freezes redstone. Uh,
Mm.
so oh well, it's fun though, just a mess of dick around with.
I'm hearing a lot of nerd talk over here.
Yeah, I know we're nerds. I finished my
Says the guy who plays Terraria.
You did too. So
We all play Terraria. We don't. None of us have a
Well, yeah,
legacy.
but I'm not nearly as like into it as you guys are.
I mean, I guess
because you're
not.
not based enough. I'm kidding, but we were talking about command blocks, huh?
Yeah, because
Or
we
command?
were. I finished my Rambo Fantasy Ramble. I was like, so River, what do you play? Recently, and River brought up Minecraft, and we just kind of went to that
You've been playing Minecraft?
modded
I've
Minecraft.
been
Yeah.
playing modded Minecraft with Soul. Me and him have been doing a lot of
Oh right, you
Cobblemon.
guys were playing Cobblemon.
Yeah,
It's actually really fun to see how big Cobblemon's got ever since me and because I remember me and Soul used to play in the server of Cobblemon, but I don't anymore, and I'm not sure if he does with you as well. But back then the mod was pretty small. Now it's actually decently big.
there's I've been hearing a lot of, I guess, issues with the game. More specifically that, and this is just kind of a nitpicky thing that's also been kind of bugging me now that I'm looking into it. But basically, a lot of the Pokemon in this mod are like fully modeled, but they don't have any animations attached to them. So they're just like they're just static models that kind of slide around.
Oh,
So there's they don't have any like walking animations or nothing. They're just very static, and I think the oven just beeped.
I heard that.
I could hear that.
There it is. Um, but that's it doesn't take away from the experience any. I still think that playing Cobblemon is very fun actually. So um, I think the biggest issue for me as far as Cobblemon goes is that I'm not really big on Pokemon to begin with. I have played Pokemon games in the past, and from what I remember of them, they're fun, but I'm not invested. Like, I don't know the type matchups. I don't know, like, the story behind some of these Pokemon because I know there's legendaries with, like, lore behind them.
Yep.
I mean, you don't really need to know the lore.
Yeah, you don't need to. You could just focus on like team building.
But I will say I am having a lot of fun learning about the different types of Pokemon. And my top two Pokemon right now are Scorbunny and Victini, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Team?
So those are my top two right now.
Okay, okay, there's no Pokedex. Is there a Pokedex in Pokemon?
Not necessarily. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you know about Victini? Like the story behind Victini? Since
No,
you said okay.
I don't know the story there.
Okay, there's not much of a story, but it's mostly like it's Dex entry.
Like
It's funny.
speculation or
No. It's what the Pokedex says that like the description of Victini, and it's funny because the Pokedex describes Victini as a, a nuclear bomb, or no, an atomic bomb.
atomic bomb. Why?
Actually, let me search it up. Victini Pokedex entry. Hold on, give me a moment. Uh, what does it say? Um, where's it? I remember there's like a something that says that basically Victini is like has such an amount of like firepower built up inside of it that if you were to kill it, it would be like an atomic bomb,
Okay.
and it's so funny.
I love that. That makes me love it even more.
It is. Pokemon Pokedex entries are the most unhinged that it ever gets.
Yeah.
Like you read through those and it's like you see like the Pokemon, it'll act cute and it'll do all this stuff, and then you look at the Pokedex entry and it's like this Pokemon murders children and guts their bodies, and it's like, oh.
Yep.
It's and like they like to hide stuff in the Pokédex because they know not a lot of they know that uh it's like it's the hidden lore of the of it's the hidden lore of this Pokemon will just fucking kill you.
Yep.
They should have a character die in the Pokemon anime.
Oh, they have like
Yeah.
multiple times.
They should do it more and more violently.
Um,
I need
do
a.
I
I
should I
need.
spoil? Can I spoil some deaths? I actually know two off the top of my head.
I don't care about spoilers. Do you, River?
I do want to get into Pokemon, so I'm
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I
okay.
don't want
I
any
won't say
spoilers.
it then. What about
Okay,
the
thank you.
anime? What about the anime
Um,
specifically?
I want to watch the anime too, so
Oh, okay. Well,
Well,
okay. I
you
won't say
got a
anything
real
then.
backlog there.
No, but there is quite a few. I mean, you guys know that Ash dies a couple of times. I'm pretty sure that's no spoiler. Like a bunch of people have said that before.
about
He
what?
dies. Ash.
Ash dying a couple times.
Oh
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
he
I
dies a
saw
couple
that
of times.
spoilered like a 2 years back or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, dies of cringe.
Oh, here's a fun dex entry. So hold on, let me get the image of the Pokemon.
I don't know why you guys like whenever the word Dex comes up, I can't help but think of our friend in the FFV, Dex Champion. So
And yeah,
Dex, I immediately think of him.
I like how so he like came back recently and started actually talking. Um
I noticed that.
which is funny because it's like Dex was always when I first entered the FFE, which keep in mind was a while ago. Dex did not talk much. He like commented on things every now and then he just stopped. And like I literally have never talked to him once. Uh I'm not even sure if he has ever acknowledged my existence. Aside from maybe saying something when I joined. Which I wouldn't remember. Um, sorry, sorry to all you people who hope to cherish your first meeting with me, but I don't. Um, uh, this is me joking. I love my friends.
she's not joking. She's not joking.
I sometimes Amber, I wonder what our friendship is, and I feel like now I have a good understanding.
uh, but yeah, I've like Dex. I don't know, cause like people, and then when Dex came back, everyone was like, "Yo, Dex, you're back. Good to see you again." I'm like, how do you people have bonds with him?
That's what I'm wondering too. I've never ever.
How are
I've
you
talked to him
people
a few
friends
times.
with this guy?
I've talked to him. The only thing I can remember that like few experiences I've had with him of being in the server for like what 1 year. I think it's been 2 years by now. Um, is I literally played Deducto when we were into that.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
wow.
remember when
Deducto
Freya was
was
a
him.
beta tester for that game?
Yeah, when we played Deducto with Soul, Freya, and I think a couple others and
I
him.
think
I was
Jack
there.
He
Jack
was
came
fun.
in
Yeah, he was fun to
sometimes.
play with.
Yeah.
But that's about it. It's about as far as it gets.
Mm.
Yeah,
And also, uh, what was the crab game? That fucking thing.
Oh yeah, right. Completely forgot. I was gonna show you a Pokedex entry because you guys were looking at like weird. Okay, so here's this Pokemon, and the Dex entry for it says that it delivers headbutts with the water bubble on its head. Small Pokemon gets sucked into the bubble where they drown,
Jesus.
and it's really funny.
yeah.
If the viewers want to know, it's a Rockwanid. So that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's yeah. Pokedex entries definitely will do their best to like. It's funny because like the Dex entries will make them sound more like animals, whereas everything else will make them like like very cognizant, like almost like a
Very human-like qualities.
like a friendly dog that can act that has like a human brain. Like they're still a dog, but like they can cognitively function and understand humans to the same degree as humans can. Uh and like some are, and like even like Meowth demonstrates that they are smart enough to the point where they pretty much have the intelligence of humans. They just can't speak the same language. Which shockingly, some, I'd imagine, biologically speaking, not all of them should, because vocal cord difference reasons. But this is a fictional universe, so who knows what the fuck is possible.
I just want to throw this out there that like I think it's funny that I never really thought about it as a kid when I would watch like the VOG Pokemon show that like the Pokemon say their names, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I've never really thought about it until recently that like behind every Pokemon is a voice that some some actor to some degree had to sit down and say the Pokemon's name and like verbally, like someone had to sit down in front of a microphone and go Snorlax, like
And they had to do multiple takes of it.
yeah. Could you imagine how annoying that must have been for some episodes? They had to sit there and go, oh, fuck, I gotta do this again. All right.
They imagine. I mean, to be honest, if I could get paid for saying one word into a microphone over and over, I would.
Pay you to be a Pokemon for a day.
Yeah,
Oh.
I just say one word and yay, I get money.
Actually, talking about Pokemon voice acting, recently, one of the characters in the Pokemon anime got revealed. The Pokemon characters from Scarlet and Violet. Amber, did you play Scarlet and Violet?
I have not.
Okay, one of the characters, one of the gym leaders in the game, finally got animated. It's now in they're in the Pokemon anime, and they have the same voice actor as Kyoko from Danganronpa. Yeah, and it's funny.
God, we bring back the voice actor episode.
No, we're not doing that.
It was, honestly, I think like, man, I have it's so easy to get into with episodes on the podcast. It's so easy to get into that, like, we find one thing and then just do that for the entire episode. Like, either it's like, because like we obviously have our episodes where we've done
Sure.
we've had
Okay.
episodes where we do like our tier
It's
list
almost done.
episodes or our Kiss Marry Kill episodes, and like that's one thing.
Can
But
you bring me mine too?
it really just comes out of like
Oh, you're not
we
drunk
find
yet?
something fun to do and then we just do that. Like that was that episode. We just looked at voice actors and other roles they did, and then the Kiss Marry Kill came out of us doing that, where I was like, what if we did like a Kiss Marry Kill with random video game characters, and then it spiraled from there.
You need to come up with a new mini.
We could. I
That way you have that way you have to you get another project that you need to do for like a month.
Yeah, I am preferably one that doesn't involve me downloading a lot of things. Because like the thing is that the Kiss Marry Kill is cool. The amount of time it took me to gather 2,000 images of characters is a lot. and then there's also like the whole thing of like I have another one that I am in the process of making, being the Guess the Tune website, which I probably talked about on the podcast before, but the for people who are unfamiliar, is a website that I am making where it plays a track from a video game and you have to guess what series it comes from. Wow, so cool. The problem is that A, it's downloading a bunch of music, B, this channel isn't monetized, but I don't want to get like copyright strikes. And I don't I don't know much about YouTube's system on unmonetized channels, if you can even get copyright strikes, because we're not making money. But A, I don't want to risk it in case I accidentally get this channel taken down. B, uh, not only that, but Guess the Tune is not that suited for a podcast episode. Partially
Yeah.
because and part of that is also because it would take way too fucking long because I have so many songs on there.
You know what would be suited for a podcast though?
What?
What's it? Cardiac phone.
That is, I mean, that would go on our gaming channel though.
Would it?
Like, cause the thing
Wait,
about
what?
the thing I think,
Cardiac phone?
yeah, because that's Gardic Phone is very visual. That is.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's that like because the thing about the Kiss Mary Kill or the tier list is that yeah, there's a visual element to it, but I have to I'll verbally say, oh, we rolled this character from this series, so you can listen and still be like, oh, that character, or if you don't know them, it's just like maybe you recognize the series or like you can look them up if you really want that bad to know if you're doing purely auditory. Gardic Phone is a lot of drawings, and that's that's better suited for the gaming channel. Yeah, we need. It's like we have to have a we have to have a mini game that doesn't rely too much on visual things, and like who knows, maybe we could just like Kiss Mary Kill is some sort is like kids playground thing. And who knows, maybe we'll find something that I did. You know what? One thing I wanted to do is I had this idea, which I wasn't sure how if it was a podcast idea, if it or if it was just something random that I came up with. But my idea was that we have every person on the podcast make this was just something I theory crafted. Make a slideshow of their top 10 I don't know video game character favorite video game characters or fictional characters or whatever, or top 10 who gives who gives one, and we just take turns presenting we all either we present our full list individually or we do everyone does their number 10, then everyone does their number 9, etc.
Oh, you know what we could do then? If it's not too visual, Hunger Games.
That is a thing. What would we put in there?
I don't know, characters we like? Or characters that we have?
I suppose.
This would give us a chance to talk about OCs and go into lore stuffs and also disprove how many ridiculous scenarios play out.
Yeah. The only thing is it's you two have a lot of OCs to contribute. Fia, I'm pretty sure has a decent amount of OCs. I know she has OCs that she could contribute. I, as mentioned earlier in this podcast, have me.
That's why you could just put a character that you like. I don't know, put Bridget there or something.
I like how my entire personality of characters that I like is Bridget.
I mean, also you could put
You know, I'm curious. I'd like how you were just silent. You could
you could put a Toho character there. Who was your favorite? Yeah, Nazrin. You can put her there.
I could. So also I'm curious. So I have a so I'm actually kind of still in on the at some point, even if not for a podcast, just for the fun of it, I want to do that like top slideshow of top 10 characters idea between the four of us. Because partially because it's fun, and partially because I don't know, I'm actually kind of curious of like what your favorite character, and I also want like why is this a favorite character? Does it do you relate to them? Does this character do you just like if you relate to them, then that's cool. I can maybe I'll even learn more about you based on the characters you like, or maybe you just like them because you're a horny bitch who likes hot women.
We're just exposing me now, aren't we?
No one said your name.
Yeah, I never said
Gem. Gem.
Your
I heard you coughing, motherfucker.
no,
I
that
need
wasn't
to,
your
like-
name, was it?
Sorry, I just got a sore throat from speaking for like a few hours right now.
Yeah, you've
Says
been the
the
one
person-
speaking.
Says the person who's been non-verbal for most of this podcast.
But I think yeah, I think like seeing characters like that you like, and
Excuse
also
me.
I don't know, it's just fun to learn the characters you like and why you like them. It's kind of like a getting to know you in ways that I didn't know you before. And I don't know, would you guys be down for it? Like
I'd be down for it.
No, well, wow, words have never failed me the way they just did.
you say
I was
that a
gonna
lot.
say, yeah. Do I?
Yeah, I feel like you've said that multiple times, and I don't know if every time is a bigger failure or.
I know that I've definitely I know I've definitely said it quite a bit in the past. I don't think I've said it recently, or I'm not sure if
Not
I've
recently, no.
said.
But continue what you were saying before you messed up your words.
I was just gonna say that sounds like something I'd be down to do.
Yeah, I wonder if my list will surprise you. It probably won't. But I am curious. I will. I think I want to do that idea at some point, so I won't spoil it now. But I will give you 3 guesses on who you think my favorite character of all time is. Favorite fictional character. Go.
Favorite fictional character of all time.
Yeah. I give you 3 guesses to guess
Oh
it
my-
before we eventually do this.
I have I have my answer, but I know that I'm going to be wrong.
If
Say it.
is it Bridget? Is that your guess?
There you go.
No, actually, Bridget is not my favorite fictional character. She is up there, but she's not my favorite. Thinking hours over here.
Oh, what was his name? What was his name? The rising up dude from Grand Blue.
Lowain?
Yeah.
I mean, oh, is that your guess?
Yeah.
He's funny, but I wouldn't put him in my top 10. He's not one of my.
Ah.
For the record, you know this character because I've mentioned them at some point, not necessarily in this podcast or in this episode or anything like that, but I've mentioned them before, so you have heard their name.
How many times though? Like once?
I'm not sure. I haven't mentioned them as much as I have other characters. Maybe
no.
like anywhere from like 1 to 4 times, maybe.
Oh no, this is gonna be so difficult.
Hey,
It's really hard for me to remember characters.
Take a shot in the dark.
Um. Can you give us a clue?
A clue? I mean, I've there's no clues. You're gonna learn it eventually when we do the presentation. This is just a fun little 3 guess thing. Don't stress about it. Like I said, You'll learn them eventually. Uh, yeah, I'm curious. I am so curious how surprised you'll be by my presentation because it probably won't be exactly what you expect.
I don't know why my mind crossed Snoopy.
Snoopy from Peanuts.
Yeah.
That's an I don't think I've ever mentioned Snoopy once. We've never talked about Peanuts on here. um,
That's a
I
lie.
think
We did partially talk about Charlie Brown that one time.
oh, was it because of Rivals of Ether?
Yes.
Oh.
Where I just spammed side special with Charlie Brown against River, and she didn't know
I
what the
still
fuck
have
to do about it.
PTSD about that match.
I think the reason why I thought Snoopy was because we were talking about bones earlier.
Oh yeah, you were talking about Bone.
A bone, not bone. My bad.
Bones is the Imagine Dragons song.
Oh, right.
Bone is the
Wait, don't
graphic
you
novel
mean
series.
True. Or oh,
River, have you
is
ever
it
read Bone?
Madeline?
Is it Madeline? No.
Uh,
There's your three guesses. You have to find
I'm,
out.
I'm,
You have to find out.
I'm
in the
like,
presentation.
I'm like trying to like. Okay, what?
I still have 2 guesses, right?
It's 3 cumulative guesses.
Oh, bitch.
my bad.
You
Uh,
wasted our guesses, Jim.
I was thinking like, okay, what series does Amber like? And it's like Toho, Guilty Gear. She plays Minecraft maps. Oh,
That's not
I
really
do
a
have-
series.
yeah, I was like,
do
yeah, but that's
one
not
more
a
guess.
series.
Can I please get like a bonus guess? Because Jim
Okay.
wasted ours.
All right. You get River. You get a bonus guess. What's your guess?
Thank you. Chihiro.
No way am I that dumb. No way am I that dumb to forget.
You forgot about Chihiro, but no, she's not my favorite character.
Ah,
She is definitely in my top 10 because I love her so much, but she is not. She is not my single favorite character. Good guesses though. I think.
Completely forgot about Chihiro.
How could you forget?
I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely like again, good guesses. Those are all characters that I definitely like. Loane is for slightly different reasons. But good guesses. But you will have to wait and see. When
You're evil.
I am evil. I mean, I have to wait and see for all of you, unless you're just gonna willingly admit it right now. I mean, I guess
I'm gonna save mine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like half of the fun is explaining why, because that's why I want the presentations. I want to hear the why. That's fun, man. If your reason of I relate to this character, or a reason of this character, just like I feel like I could be good friends with them, or maybe it's just I don't know why this character is just cool, and you know what? That's also fair.
I think that's most of mine. I think that's most of my justification for why I like what I like.
Rule of cool strikes again.
I guess, yeah.
It's yeah. I feel like I don't know if I have any rule of cool characters in my top 10. I'd have to actually sit down and make the list. I feel like for me it's going to be. I'm also, for the record, I'm not going to require you to be like make a perfect ordered top 10. Just the only one I'm going to say that we all should be ordering is number 1. So, but if you're not sure and you want to leave like parts or even the rest of the list unordered, go ahead. Because like you can just present them in any order and just be like, I love these characters a lot. I don't really have any distinguishing between them. And you know, but do a number 1 because that's always interesting. If it's hard to pick a favorite, I don't know. Put them as put like a few that you consider as like a tie. But yeah, I mean, classic monkey brains shenanigans of detailing future podcast ideas in the podcast itself.
Yep.
We
Because every
I
time
will
we're
be
off.
right back. I have to go take care of a quick thing.
all right.
All right.
If there's one thing that the Monkey Brains podcast is consistent at, it's being not consistent.
Yep.
Welcome to the podcast. This is what you subscribe for. And if you
Mhm.
didn't, why are you not subscribed? I begged you earlier. I said I'd suck your dick.
Stop. Stop saying that. That's so weird.
You people, look. If you are gonna say something, be as shameless as possible about it.
No. I'd like to retain my pride. Thank you.
Look, I'm not actually going to go around sucking random people's dicks. I say it with full seriousness because it's more funny than like being like, oh, suck your dick.
I know, but even if I would say it, I feel like a little bit of my pride would. I feel like my pride would start to chip away if I said that.
Come on. I mean, I know you can't say it anyway because house people. But come on.
No,
like, like, be yeah, like you gotta be honest with yourself about the.
Fine. I would not touch that thing with a 10-foot pole. I would not touch that thing with a 10-foot pole, even if my boss gave me money to do so. I don't know why I started doing the TikTok voice at the end when I said it.
I would not touch that thing with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
It's the. It's quite the that fucking voice is so like. It's
Annoying.
I don't know. It's not like annoying. It's just like I hear that one so much. It would be annoying if people narrated like say their entire TikToks with it, but usually it's just like they use that voice to narrate like the intro thing or whatever.
Yeah. That's why I don't know. I find it funny to do like mimic it just to make fun of it.
Yeah, just I go around narrating my life. Uh, I went into the kitchen to grab some food, and this is what happened. Camera view of me going into the kitchen, grabbing out a snack, and leaving, and nothing else.
Found a character named Amber. I think it's the third one.
How many? How many at this point? We have we have
Like
Genshin
3.
Impact Amber. What's this one from?
Art fight. I've been just collecting a bunch of characters while we've been talking.
Yeah, It's funny because it's like now that I have a name that's actually shows up. I literally in the entirety of fiction for my dead name there were 2 characters that that I could like say I shared a name with, and one of them
How
was
uncommon is it? Don't tell me, but how uncommon was it?
very uncommon. Like that it was literally like maybe there were 1 or 2 other fictional characters that appeared here and there, but by and large it was not a name that showed up like ever.
Wow.
Um and like it was yeah, so and now with being named Amber, it's like well now there's all these Ambers, and also there's 15,000 other trans girls named Amber, and I swear to God, it's not like part of my justification for picking the name Amber was because it sounded and is spelled and contains a lot of similar letters to Umbra. So I was like Amber, Umbra, they fit together. I'm Umbramber or whatever.
Hmm.
Umbramber. Uh, whatever.
Sombram.
Sombrero.
Sombrero.
Sombrambrero.
There you go.
Uh,
You got the. You got the. You go.
sombrero
Name.
is like my, like sombramber. That's my that's what my name would be if I was Mexican. You could say I'm a little racist. Uh, but yeah, I literally my name just came from went onto a baby names website and picked out Amber because it sounded like Umbra, and I was like, cool, that's me now, and come to learn that I literally after picking that name, this was I can't I picked that name after while I was still like kind of active in the subreddit FNF subreddit Discord server, and there were, I kid you not, at the time, two other trans girls in that server named Amber.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that until after I picked my name. So that was interesting. Apparently, Amber is a somewhat popular trans woman name. I could have gone with something else, and also another name I was considering, that I didn't go with was the name Rose, which is probably also and yeah, I know River's friend named Rose, haha, very funny. I don't know if that's a popular trans woman name. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I've always liked that name. I don't know why. Um, I think I chose Amber for more thematic reasons. If I wasn't named Umbra, I probably would have gone with Rose.
Really.
Yeah.
Make
knows?
that your name, Amber Rose. There you go. That's your full legal name.
Maybe I will. I think like because I don't know. Like part of me wants to, because at this point I've established myself as Amber too much to like kind of suddenly switch it. Like I know I can, but it would feel weird. Like people know me as Amber. Like I do kind of want to go with like the like part of me wants to go with like maybe the compound first name of like Amber Dash Rose, because I really do like the name, and I kind of want to honor it in some way. And that way, I can have that name while also still letting people call me Amber. Um,
Mm.
and maybe I will. Like maybe when I change my name, I'll do Amber Rose because I like it. Um, we'll see. uh, but yeah, I mean, like, I'm curious. You as a non-transgender person,
Yeah.
if you were to pick a new name for yourself, what would you pick?
See, the only thing is like, if I ever think of myself as like, I'm not really like ever think of being. I mostly think of like, oh yeah, imagine if I was like the opposite gender for like a single day. What would you do? That type of stuff. And you usually think that's like, I don't know, my name would be just like a female version of my name.
I mean,
Like,
I'm not asking like what would your name be if you were trans. I'm asking if you were to choose a new name for yourself as you are right now, what name would
hmm,
you pick?
hmm. That's actually a pretty good question. I definitely would want to pick a name that's a little bit more. Okay, I would definitely like to pick a name that doesn't get people. You know my name, right? You know, like my actual name.
It's possible I heard it, but I don't remember it.
Think of the funny jumper Wahoo man.
Oh yeah, you're. I remember now.
Yeah, and I definitely want a name that would not get people making the same joke every single time I tell them my name. But I guess something more like interesting. I remember I've made a couple of notes of like names that I think are pretty cool, but God, I cannot remember them right now. Just like I guess what would be like a good name? Is I don't know, like what was there was like a there was like a name. I don't know, like a weird name, something like I don't know, Gizmo. Think of something like that, like a name that is not that common, but not the name Gizmo. Because that name kind of bad.
You would get bullied at school for being named Gizmo.
I would. That's more of a cat name.
Yeah, Gizmo the cat. Meow meow.
Yep. But yeah, something like that. I don't think I have an idea of what I would be named though. But if I was like directly just like, oh yeah, yeah, now you're a girl for like a day, it would be like Maria or something.
Maria.
Yep. From Sonic Adventure, the one character that gets shot.
I love. I remember seeing like a thing of like people like popping off seeing Maria get shot in the remake or whatever.
Yeah, people in the Sonic community have been like, in the movie, the moment Maria gets shot is the moment everybody will cheer, and the reason why they make that joke is because uh Maria dying basically gives like Shadow like the reason of him being all edgy and cool. So if she dies, then he becomes like the cool character everybody likes.
I think it would. I think it would be really funny if Shadow was like he kept the design. He kept like his look of like pure I don't care about you on his face. Like if Shadow kept all that, but he was just like this chill ass dude that was like, yeah,
That would
man,
be
that's
really
cool.
funny.
You know, it's funny because Blaze Blue does that. Because literally the main character of Blaze Blue's name is fucking Ragna the Blood Edge. And if that's not edgy, I don't know what is. And he's like, he has like white hair. He has
Holy
like,
head.
yeah, he has
Oh
like the red
wait.
jacket. Like,
Oh,
dude
he has
is
a what's his thing? He has a homophobia in his eye.
yeah, he got homophobia in his eyes. Like, uh, I'm gonna send a sample image. For
Hello, folks. I have returned.
hello, welcome
Hey,
back.
hey.
I'm talking.
What's this about homophobia in eyes? I didn't quite catch
But
it.
I mentioned Shadow would be really funny if he kept his like look and kind of like he kept his
Wait,
edgy
Shadow who? Are we
Shadow
talking
the
about Shadow?
Hedgehog.
Okay, I
Hedgehog.
wasn't sure.
Like if he kept his like edgy look and that like kind of like scowly look on his face, but he was just a like fucking chill ass dude who was like, yeah, man, that's cool. Like that would be really funny. And I brought up how this is literally what Blaze Blue does because their main character is named Ragna the Blood Edge. He looks like this, and he is edgy as fuck. But his actual personality is just that he's this completely chill dude that's like incredibly laid back. Like he just doesn't act like how you would look at him and think he does. And it's honestly kind of cool, and I really like that. uh, I like that kind of like subversive character design.
He's got homophobia in his eyes.
Yep.
Yep, that he does. He got the red and the green. The red eye with the green eye and the white hair and the red, black, and white like color scheme is like screams edge. Like
Yeah.
it's
He
it's
looks like an original character of someone.
yeah, like my OC, and it's like
Yeah.
it's hang on, what it's the fucking um let me grab the image. Uh uh there it is. It's just this.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. I'm glad you pulled that one.
It's the Greater Gwaglione card from Undertale 2.
Even has the same color of eyes.
Yeah, it even has the red and green eyes. It is literally like perfect. Like it, he literally, you could put him on one of those things.
He looks like a Mary Sue.
What? Who? Slicepaw the Berserker or Ragnar the Blood Edge?
No, Greater Gwaglione
Yeah, it's
reminds me of like a Mary Sue character. Hang on, there's a certain image I'm thinking of.
yeah. It's also funny because they both have the same fucking name convention. Ragna the Blood Edge, Slicepaw the I feel like there has to be some level of inspiration there. It's even the same eye color. Like that makes me suspicious enough.
Here we go. This like it's. I think of a Mary Sue. This is what I'm.
Recolored version of Peridot to be really badly photoshopped pink with like
Rainbow hair.
yeah rainbow hair that looks like it was someone tried to make it in This Is Sand. But
By the way, name Rainbow, powers Rainbow Blast, crush Peridot, likes candy, pizza, Perry, dislikes FNAF, food Rainbow Apple, her gem type, according to this, Angel Aura Quartz. That is. There you go.
I feel like they got that by looking up cool gemstones and that popped up and they were like, God, that's so me. It's obviously supposed to be like a insert
Insort.
because the
That right there is supposed to be a self-insort.
because the dislikes FNAF is a pretty big giveaway in case it wasn't already kind of okay. Alex Bird, Angry Bird OC, skin
Have you
color
guys seen the
legal.
video?
Yes, I have. It's amazing.
It's so funny. It's the best video ever.
Video's fucking amazing. It's just God, anything that makes fun of those like what's the like evil Elsa thing?
Yeah, the evil Elsa, Peter the Blood, Peter Griffin the Blood Hunter or whatever thing.
Yeah. Also, I didn't even read out Slicepaw the Berserker here's info. We got bio student at Kill Stab Academy has killed 15 teachers. Weapon Bloodman Katana. Age 18. Personality insane psycho with a twisted mind. Quotes: Don't worry, guys, we got this. Kills 9,999 and GFs is a lot more nines. So there, congrats.
Just so you know, I got the biggest chuckle when I read that.
Yeah, it was fun to see your reaction when you played through that. You know what's funny is that once we finish Undertale 2, we're going to like switch over to off because that's the next like RPG for you to play.
Ooh,
And that's
Ah.
and the fucking tonal shift will be.
Wait, for me?
Oh yeah, didn't you say you have off and you haven't played it?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's a good.
I guess
That's going to be
I
jarring.
guess Terraria's gonna wait.
Oh, Terraria is definitely going to wait because I want to see you play through off now that it's being mentioned. So
I was thinking it's like, okay, we're gonna finish Undertale 2 and then we're gonna make Amber play Undertale Yellow. And in between that, we're probably gonna finish Terraria. But
I mean, like,
I guess we're gonna do
I
off.
was-
That's fine.
I mean, I was planning on playing Undertale Yellow on my own time, but if you want to watch it, sure.
Actually, no, do it on your own time.
All right.
Have your
Yeah.
own reaction to it.
Yeah, I definitely like because I mentioned, I know you hate every time that I make an excuse about why I'm not playing it, but I mentioned that
No, I do it as a joke. You can do
uh,
it at whatever time you like. I don't
yeah.
mind.
Yeah, the thing is like, it's for me. I love RPGs, but like.
Oh, really? Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, I know. Quite the shocker, I am aware. But like, I really love RPGs, but also at the same time, it's something that th- certain there's a lot of different kinds of RPGs and a lot of different things that they do, and like just general mood can also affect it. Like, I don't feel like playing a specific kind of RPG, or I don't feel like playing RPGs in general. Like, I could sit down right now and crack open my own copy of Undertale too, and start playing that, but not feel like playing Undertale Yellow, because they are fundamentally different games that operate differently, and it's just like, maybe I'm feeling like playing one, and maybe I'm feeling like playing the other. And also, part of that is just, God, it is so hard to start a new game.
It
uh,
is.
it's like that is like one of the hardest things to do, because it's like I have like unplayed games in my Steam library still that I like really I still have Milk Inside a Bag of Milk Inside a Bag of Milk that I need to play. Because it like I've owned that for probably a year at this point without playing it, and I really need to play it, and I don't think it's going to be that long. I just haven't gotten around to playing it. So getting into new games is hard. So eventually I'll play Undertale Yellow once I have the time, once I have the drive and the time to sit down and say, okay, I'll start playing it, and then I'll play it. For now, I'm just addicted to other things.
The
Yeah.
drive, the sex drive, Pride Month reference.
No.
I like how I like how it's Pride Month is about sex. Uh, get banging people.
Get banging people.
Have
Make it
pride.
competitive.
Have
Also,
pride about your STDs.
fuck. Get
Practice.
competitive. Send
Wear
videos.
condoms. Practice safe sex, kids. Uh, and remember, abortions are legal if you try hard enough.
Fuck.
And you can.
All
You
right,
can.
I'm shutting you up now. That's
You
enough out of
can
you.
love. I was just gonna say, you can love who you wanna love, because that's pride. I don't care who you're sleeping in bed with. I'm not in there.
Fuck.
It's the I consent. I consent. I don't. Isn't there somebody you forgot to ask? I fucking love all the modifications of that image.
I saw an edit of that image with Goku,
Where?
and he's the one saying I don't.
What's the cup? Is it just that there's no thing? It's just Goku saying you can't have sex.
No, it's just it's it's the standard like I consent, and then the third person being Goku in the back just going I don't.
It's just like two normal people wanting to have sex, and then Goku teleports in and is like, "I don't," and then fucking blasts them. Goku teleports in.
It looks
Sex
like
before
you're going
marriage.
at it. It looks like you're going at it pretty strong.
uh, God, I love I feel like you're pretty like your ex is pretty strong. I want to fight it thing is kind of like in some degrees it's kind of been like worn into the ground for me. But I fucking love like I saw a video where it was like a completely like someone just recording a normal conversation of like people in person, and it looked like some sort of like random fucking video, and then the person is like, ah, it's so strong, and then slight pan to this like a guy in a Goku cosplay walks in frame, and it's like it's pretty strong, and it cuts off. Or it's something to that effect, and it's so fucking funny. It's like I perfectly cut anything just really makes a video.
I think the
Anyway,
best kinds of videos are Ultra Instinct memes. Those are I
it,
love those.
I like the drip Goku where he just kind of like suddenly appears and then it cuts.
I saw an edit of an anime clip where this girl goes to open a door and it's Drip Goku, and then it
Is it
plays.
the Little Witch Academia one where she knocks on it and
I think so. Yeah.
I yeah, there's so many like you just need any scene where someone like opens a door or like looks over and the camera suddenly pans or something like that, and then you just end it in drip Goku and boom, you've got a beam. Like I've I definitely like I've there's so many variations of that, but they're all so good. Like um and it just taking them and like you know what's even better, I fucking love the memes where it's like some sort of like those are the it's a lot harder to find good like ways to interject it, but I fucking love like say like there's an anime intro where it has like a bunch of cuts between different main characters, and then
Oh.
someone edits in like the Better Call Saul thing in the middle of it. Like anime, bro, anime.
I think I've seen that. Hold on. Something like that. I think I've seen something like that.
It's so funny. I fucking love that because it's like it's there's like the whole catching you off guard. This is a perfectly normal video of some show or anime or real life or real life thing that's happening, and then sudden cut to unexpected thing, and then
I think I've seen something like that, and it's like a bunch of characters, and then the last one is like Homelander, and then he has like the American flag behind them.
oh yeah,
I think
that
I've seen something like
there's
that.
an edit of that with the Turning Red cast.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was thinking about.
yeah. I wonder if I'll get it by searching up Turning Red Homelander. Turning Red Homelander meme.
Oh yeah, I think this one. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, this one.
yeah. I love Miriam, Faria, Abby, Homelander. I fucking. It's even better with the audio because it plays like the normal theme of like that plays during this sequence, and then suddenly the fucking Homelander theme. Uh, it's so good.
What's the one that? What's the one opening that's like it has like a bunch of like maids, and it's like smile, sweet sister, and
Oh, the
then
smile, sweet, sister, sadistic, surprise,
yeah, that,
service, and then something else with S.
and then Snoop Dogg. I think I remember one that says Snoop Dogg, and it's really funny. I
Snoop
think of
Dogg,
yeah, something like that.
surprise, service, Snoop Dogg. I remember
Yeah.
seeing one where it's that, but it's uh surprise, service, Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch ass motherfucker. It's that one's that one's also good.
What's it with a bunch of characters? I'm starting to notice a very common trend of trans people using the same names.
What?
Three common names that I've seen for trans people so far are Freya, Astrid, and Amber. And funny enough, I know three that have the exact names.
And all of them are trans girls.
Yeah, I'm literally like scrolling by like a bunch of characters in Art Fight, and then I find one that's like, oh, her name's Freya, and it's like, and it lists a bunch of stuff, and it's like trans. Oh, well, isn't that a coincidence?
Huh. This reminds me of something.
Now, what could that be?
I wonder. uh, but yeah, I'm uh, that is a I'm sure that there are certain names that are just generally more popular with trans people on both ends of the spectrum. Uh, like the like and I'm not sure if it's just like a general name popularity thing, if like those names just happen to be popular with like our generation or something, or if like there's something about like certain names feeling more related to like the feeling of being trans. Um, I'm curious if there's like an actual like reason behind it. 'Cause that is interesting that there are certain names that are just more popular among specifically trans girls, and maybe it's just a thing of because we get to pick our names, we reflect more of what the action. God damn it, you and your EFOC.
Continue. Don't continue.
Don't continue.
No, don't pay attention to what I put. Continue.
uh, but like I like my best guess is that like I kind of lean more towards the whole it reflects the current idea of popular names because obviously any normal girl that like any other girl in our generation that isn't trans was named by their parents and the parents are like anywhere from millennials to baby boomers if you go back that far. Funnily enough, my dad is a baby boomer.
Hmm.
He's
Baby boomers are like what in their 50s, 60s by now?
yeah, 60s.
Wow. Your
Like
dad's old.
yeah, my dad is like over I want to say like he's like 65 or something like that. I don't
You don't
know.
know your dad's age?
I don't pay attention to that shit.
Wow. Okay, you're
Okay,
just
you want to
mean.
know? You want to yeah, like look, it's not okay. I can give you exactly how old he is because I can remember the year he was born in. He is 64.
Oh, yeah, he's a stack here. So
Yes, I
I'm
have a stack
kidding.
of dad.
Yeah,
My mom, meanwhile, is uh 55.
born 55. Wow, that's a neat. Well, I guess it makes sense because back then people used to have big age gaps.
Yeah. So I mean, to be fair, my parents met in they got married in 2002. So
Uh,
they didn't they knew each other when they were both well past their like I think they met in their 30s.
wow,
30s and 40s because it's a 9-year age gap. So there you go.
wow.
Um, yeah. So age differences like in that at that point don't really matter. Like
Yeah,
it's funny how it's like at that like 9-year age difference between parents, whatever. 9 years difference between a 17-year-old and literally either side of the spectrum.
yeah. That's that's when it goes really. That's when it goes bad.
Yeah.
My parents.
The motherfucker turned into a scratch board. That's when it.
Not. How to go? Oh no! How do they do it? A tis tis tis. How to go? Tisk 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 or how? Is that you just say tisk?
it's like
You're
a
not like
it's like
oh like
yeah.
oh yeah.
It's just like an onomatopoeia. Although usually I say tisk tisk because it's funnier.
Funny. Hand
Yeah,
it.
you get it. It's not EFOC. I don't give EFOC about it.
uh, this joke is so dumb and I love it. Um, I was thinking. I think my parents are like what?
Also, I like how the video you sent of EFOC has like Temple Run on it.
Oh yeah, that yeah. I don't pay attention to it.
It's
Um,
the Temple Run also is a fresh. I'm assuming a fresh account because it says swipe to jump on it.
yeah. Don't pay attention. Don't pay attention to it. It's fine. Uh, I think I remember my parents. I do remember my parents' age, but I think they're 2 years apart.
Hmm.
So Yeah, they're not as. I think something along more the lines that you have, Amber, with your parents. I think my grandfather and my grandma have like 10 years apart or something.
Hmm.
But that was like what, like 19 somethings back then. That thing used to be common.
Yeah, it's funny how much like I like my current my current branch of the family is like on my mom's side is very much like the most like age gapped in terms of like generations that there is because I differ between my parents' age by like 50 years. For my like 50 years for my dad, 40 for my mom. And then my mom to my grandma differentiates by another 40 years.
Oh my god.
uh so cuz like my grandma's like 98 or something, 97 or 98. Uh She was born 3 years before the Depression started.
Oh,
She was born 1926, if I remember correctly, because I think it started in 29.
26.
Yeah,
1920. Wait, your mom or your dad?
my
I mean, your
grandma.
your grandma or your oh, your grandma.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, right. You said she was almost hitting like 100, right?
yeah. She's 90, either 96 or 97. I have to do the math.
Wow,
Or not, or
that's
97 or 98.
insane.
Yeah, she's kicking. She still is. Not as well because her legs hurt, but she's doing better than her younger sister, who is currently going blind. Uh,
Did she have like a job that has to really deteriorate her eyesight or
I
something?
no, I don't think so. She like as far as I know, my great aunt is not in anything that is strenuous. Like she I don't think she has a job at all. Um, I'm pretty sure she's just retired and probably has been for a while. I think it's just I don't know if there's any particular reason why she's kind of like having her eyesight go before my grandma really has much. Like obviously my grandma shows plenty of signs of age, um, but like she has like pretty much almost like a full pair of dentures. I don't think every tooth is missing, but most she has like a mostly complete pair of dentures. Um, and like she wears glasses, but her eyesight is obviously not the best, but it's fine. She still does like I've mentioned this 15 times at this point, but she was a teaching assistant until COVID.
Oh yeah, I think you did say that at one point.
uh so like she would have she was uh she's been doing this shit for a while. Like I think she retired at 92. That is which is crazy. And having to be a teacher assistant for a bunch of kindergartners, goodness.
Yeah. Mm.
I remember when we would go to her house and she would like complain about the school system. She would complain about specifically Common Core, which I don't know if is a thing that is familiar to any
Common?
of you, but Common Core is some sort of
No.
like elementary school system or just any like a general school system. I don't know, but Common
I
Core, I remember it on a lot of the worksheets we got in school. Like on the bottom, they would be labeled with like Common Core. Um,
I don't think that's a no. I think that must be like a regional thing because I don't think I've ever heard of that.
hopefully that doesn't dox me too bad.
I doubt.
I am but yeah, that was a thing, and my grandma would talk about like other coworkers and how weird they were, uh, and like she knows someone who's a friend question mark who I don't know much about them, but from what I've heard, they like to they they uh they like to you know throw a pity party and need money for things that happen to them or something to that effect. Uh, and I don't know. There's a lot. I don't pay too much attention because it's adult conversations, despite the fact that I am now an adult, but yet I still don't care too much about them because I don't. Why should I?
Yeah, shouldn't.
Say la vie. Uh
She did it.
Lobby.
She said the thing.
huh.
Did you hear what I say? Did you hear what I said?
No, not over river.
He said, "Say lobby," and then I said lobby.
Lobby. Uh, guys, let's head back to the lobby.
I mean, you did say lobby, so I said lobby.
Congratulations. But Simon didn't say.
No, it's like
Explode now.
it reminds me of there's that one like Reddit screenshot where it says like I got diabetes and it says type 1 and then someone just replies with 1. And it's the funniest thing ever.
And I fucking love when people misunderstand shit so bad by that.
It's always fun.
Like,
It carries the same energy. I saw this clip of Markiplier, who was the opening of a game that he was playing said type a face, and he was supposed to like use his keyboard to type a
content
face.
warning.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it in his content warning where you can edit your character's face by typing out whatever characters you want to make it. And
And
he misunderstood it very much.
he misunderstood the prompt. He was like, "Oh, type a face. I literally have to type a face." Okay.
Yeah. One day we'll all get whenever Gem ends up getting whenever Gem ends up getting a content warning because you didn't grab it and it's on its free sale.
Wait, hold on. Actually, I just thought of it. If we're gonna be getting off after Undertale 2, when are we gonna play Gensokyo?
Gensokyo Odyssey. Whenever we can do that. Whichever you want to play first. Offer Gensokyo Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
It's up to you really.
I'm
I want you to play both. For the record, I believe Gensokyo Odyssey is shorter.
Yeah, I was thinking probably Gensokyo because right, like off is very like thematic, and
Yeah.
both of these two are very like
play the two goofy games and then play the suddenly serious.
Yeah, so that way there's not such a what's it like thematic clash.
Yeah. It is if there's any game that I will like I'll probably take voices for Gensokyo Odyssey so you're not reading literally everything.
Wow, I'm that boring, huh?
No. Like I don't. Plus, there's just fun characters to voice in that game. I feel like the main character's dialogue suits the way you say things, so I'll say that much.
I know. I have a very deadpan delivery.
Though at the same time, you won't be able to say half of their lines.
Really?
Actually, half is underselling it. You won't be able to say a majority of their lines because there is a swear in almost every one.
That's fine. I can just replace it with something else.
It's less funny that way.
No.
Like, come on.
Here's the way that ironic things work. When you say something and then you make it like It's like saying you're a poopy head, right? Like it's gonna be more funny if I say poop. Exactly, I told you. River just proved my point.
No, I'm laughing at the fact that of all the examples you could have used, poopy head was your go-to. Like,
Yeah, right. Like instead of saying you are an, you know, you could just say you're a poopy head, and then that's gonna be funny.
I don't know, like, because, like, it's like come on, it like the lines that the character says in game are significantly funnier when they're not censored, and also you censoring, uh, like, like you censoring things in Undertale too. You take too much time to think of how to censor them to make them funny.
But it still is funny. I still find them funny.
You like, yeah, like you literally like, fuck you, you bastard. It's like, screw you, you bad person. As
I still, yeah, I have to come up with I should say mustard instead of that.
God,
Ah.
you killed Kenny, you
Fudge.
mustards.
Yeah, that's so much better.
It's
saying-
yes. Oh my god, they killed Kenny. You mustards.
that sounds
Yeah.
racist.
That kind of does actually.
Amber, you're a fucking mustard. You know that?
You mustard skins.
You mustard skins. See, that sounds racist.
You're the mustard and I'm the ketchup.
You know what's something I didn't expect? I didn't expect Artfight to have this many naked characters.
There are a lot of porn artists on there.
Surprisingly so.
Isn't there rules against that?
No, you could put characters.
Well,
naked.
there's rules, but they
You have to
they
tag
don't.
characters like that though.
Oh, you just have to tag it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And why are you not hiding them then?
Because I don't mind. I mean, I'm not gonna look at them and like be like, oh, I'm salivating all over me. It's
Oh,
like,
titties.
no, I just like, oh, okay, that's a thing, and then I just scroll past it. And
I feel like also
Now, me on the other hand,
we don't
I know
even
you would
need
be salivating.
we don't even need you to say it, River. We know.
am I that fucking transparent?
No, you're
I mean,
trans
you are
child.
trans. Yeah, both made the
I
same
hate
joke.
that joke. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
Oh, you're trans. Oh, I see it now.
That took you way too long, buddy.
I know.
My the jokester just flows through me.
I do have to say, it's so difficult to find characters here. I think I have like 17 characters I've picked out of like thousands already, because most of them are just furries. Most of them are just furries with
Hey,
like.
you could make
very
a lot of
bad
money
color.
from drawing furries.
I know. I'm not doing this for money though. If I would, I wouldn't be complaining about them being furries.
It's like any, you scroll anything that has a selection of things to pick from, like any game site or any like anything like that, you scroll through it and it's just like, whatever. This most of this shit is dumb and I don't like it, and like it's gonna be that way. Also, by the way, we are currently at 3 hours and 18 minutes.
Oh, we made it.
Overshot by 18 minutes, which is fine because no one's watching this far anyway besides Adam.
Besides Adam, we all know it's got to be fucking Adam.
Mr. Self-proclaimed #1 Monkey Brains fan.
Did he
Mr.
self-proclaim that?
Yeah. He has self-proclaimed that he is #1 Monkey Brains fan, and to be honest, there's not much competition.
I don't know. I feel like I would beg to differ.
Why? Who do you think is the number one fan?
Myself.
You're part of the podcast.
You didn't even
don't
watch
count.
it.
I watched the episodes.
You don't
Mhm.
count. You're part of it.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't count my part of it, but I I still would consider myself to be a fan of the show, even though I am a part of it. So
I mean, yeah, you can be a fan of your show, but fan of a show you're in, but saying like, "Oh, I am the number one fan of thing I am in" is
Well, no, I'm not saying that I'm a fan of it because I'm in it. I'm saying that I'm a fan of it because I just enjoy what we talk about. So,
You enjoy listening to me talk about Grand Blue Fantasy for
hey, I
however
mean,
long.
it's interesting.
It is. You want to know the fuck? There's one thing I didn't mention that I just remembered. The fucking whiplash of going through the list of characters because Grand Blue Fantasy it has a lot of collabs, um, and that involves like they've done a lot of interesting collabs, and I gotta say, scrolling through the fucking character list and randomly seeing Joker Persona 5 is interesting to say the least. Uh, like they have a like. Let me see if I can search up like they have a whole category of characters called tie-ins, um, which is just like collab characters, and uh, they
The ribbons and rice.
the the fucking like if I just go to category of collaboration characters, there are some interesting things. For example, I mentioned Joker Persona 5. They had a Persona 5 collab. They have a Love Live collab. Um,
I think I've heard of that.
yeah, you might have. And I just open. I actually don't know what this one's from. Open a random character. What do we have? I know that so also there is they have Street Fighter. They did a collab with Street Fighter. Chun-Li is here and she you could get Chun-Li. Um
Chun-Li is a thing.
yeah. God damn, do they
I feel like you're talking about Fortnite for some reason.
No.
But you're not.
It's not it
Well,
ain't
because we also did have a Street Fighter collab.
It
so.
has
Yeah.
My Hero Academia characters. It's always funny to go onto the support summons and I just see All Might staring at me.
Mhm.
I don't.
I am here.
They have Attack on Titan characters. This event contains major spoilers from the Attack on Titan series. Damn. All right. Apparently, it takes the event opening starts from episode 18 of the first season and around chapter 22 to 24 of the manga. Interesting. That is yeah, and they have other collabs, a fair amount that you probably wouldn't recognize, a fair amount that I also don't recognize. But it's interesting. Like they have, and apparently they've done multiple collabs with Street Fighter because they have one called Grand Blue Fighter Ultra and one called Grand Blue Fighter V, or I guess 5 for
V.
Street Fighter 5. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. They also did a One Piece collab.
This is starting to feel more and more just like a fighting, like anime fighting game. Anyways,
Who the fuck is Cinnamon Roll and Pom Pom Purn?
could not tell you. Those are not characters I'm familiar with.
Sanrio. That's what they're from. I
No
guess.
clue. Never heard of that.
Yeah,
Wrap
it's
this up.
oh, excuse me. It's collaboration event. What? Oh my. Okay. Last thing to say because we can wrap this up. I went to the page for the Sanrio. It's a collab between Sanrio and Hello Kitty, and for some fucking reason, uh, the
Oh.
this fucking page for the fucking page for this event is written entirely in uwu speak.
Oh no.
Like I scroll to the it says Sanrio characters come on over to Hello Land is an April Fool's collaboration event with the Hello Kitty franchise and Sanrio characters. This event commemorates Hello Kitty's 50th anniversary in 2024. Even the raid battle section is titled Wade Battles. This is amazing. So that's cool. Anyway, let's wrap up this podcast.
Yeah, please.
All right, thank you for watching this podcast and enjoying.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Adam, for watching this far into the podcast. I hope you enjoyed, specifically you. If someone else happened to watch this far, whoa, holy shit! What?
Why did you give 110% in that?
I don't know.
All right.
That's so over the top for no reason.
But yeah, thanks for watching. You guys have any parting words?
Happy Pride Month.
Happy almost the end of Pride Month.
Yeah. Happy
Follow me on
happy
Twitter.
pigment.
What'd you say, Jim?
Follow me on Twitter.
Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, follow us all on Twitter. If you're
Yeah.
I retweet so much art it will make your head spin.
I like so much
And
art.
most of it
that
is Bridget.
will not be seen.
That's not true.
Actually,
That's
completely.
all I've ever seen on my timeline of what you have appeared on.
It is fun because the thing is like I would retweet more characters, but I just have retweeted Bridget art for so much that it just keeps recommending me Bridget.
It's like, oh, you like this? I'm gonna keep on spoon feeding you more and more.
I do. Basically, the main things I retweet at this point is Bridget and Sulamiyu. Or
Is that the
Sulamio.
character? Is that your favorite?
No, it's the ship name for Suletta and Miorino from Witch from Mercury.
Oh!
Oh,
I
bollocks, I'm
thought
getting a call.
for a moment, I
Okay,
thought you
well.
meant like ship name as like an actual ship.
No, yeah, I
didn't-
retweet fan art of an actual like ocean liner.
I don't know. Maybe you're into that sort of thing. You never know these days.
I'm really into boats. Anyway, let's end this. Hey, thanks for watching. Say bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye. Goodbye.